keep quarterback Dak Prescott, saying, quote, "We want Dak. That's that." More NBA playoff action tonight. The Suns look to even up their series with the T-Wolves in Minnesota. 6:30 tip. It's a game you can catch on both 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and ESPN 1250 beginning at 6 o'clock.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 62, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on a Tuesday afternoon. Honestly, Joe, I walk in a little bit dizzy.
Dizzy?
What the hell was Jerry Jones saying today while doodling during a pre-draft press conference where they said a whole lot of nothing?
Well, I tell you what, Jason, he's a hell of a salesman, but I'm thinking that sales pitch is wearing a little thin. I have no clue what they're doing still to this time. I just read the Sports Center. They want to keep Dak. I'm not sure if Dak wants to stay. All kinds of drama taking place.
It is interesting, and we'll dive into it as we break down the audio. Pledge has the wonderful job duties of trying to make sense out of nonsense, as he did throughout the as Jerry talked and Steven said some things. And I do think the one, and there were some things that I did take out of that press conference from the Dallas Cowboys. And if you guys want to chime in, please do. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 on Twitter, at Joe Reinagel 210. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can always comment there. Make sure you subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up button, all that good stuff. There was, I think, some real honesty if you kind of work through the weeds. Yes, they want Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott is going to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys for the foreseeable future. But to get Dak Prescott, they know that they're going to have less of a roster. And Jerry basically said that today.
He did. It's exactly what he said.
And sometimes knowing something is one thing. Hearing it from Jerry Jones hits a little bit different. I think all of us that follow football, which if you're listening to this program on this radio station, you probably follow football, that you can only have so many players at massive contracts, and then you're not going to have the same quality throughout the rest of your roster, which is why it is so damn important to win when you've got a quarterback on a rookie contract.
Or when you have a great roster like they had last year. That would have been good too.
It would have been good. And the delusion that is Stephen Jones, we won last year's offseason and it didn't help us in the playoffs. Well, I don't necessarily know that you won last offseason, but you had a good offseason last year. I'll give you credit.
Yes.
Win, but you're right, it didn't help you in the offseason. So because of that, this year you're saying, all right, well, let's see what we can do with all these other guys. There is a lot of hope that these young guys are going to step up. And I don't know about you, but if you're a business owner and you are planning and forecasting for your next year, your next quarter, your next 5 years, you don't plan on hope. That is a bad business plan. Well, let's hope this works.
I get what they're saying. Look, they've got guys there that haven't had an opportunity to play, especially on that offensive line. You want to see what you've got there. I don't know. I mean, 75% of that press conference, Jason, was the Cowboys telling us how bad financial shape they are in relative to the salary cap.
Yep.
And defending themselves for the crappy offseason that they've had.
We tell you all the time that the Cowboys hear everything, that they read everything.
Sure.
And they did spend a good amount of time defending some of the criticism, and maybe defending isn't the right word, but trying to justify or help us in the media understand the situation that they're in. Jerry Jones with a credit card analogy. And if you've ever had massive credit card debt and been able to get out of it, I know Dave Ramsey probably would have appreciated the whole spiel from Jerry, because at some point you can't keep spending on that credit card. What does Ramsey talk about? Rice and beans, beans and rice, or whatever. Well, here's the thing, Jerry, this isn't the time to go rice and beans, beans and rice.
No.
If you've got a quarterback like Dak Prescott and you're going to pay him that much money, you all of a sudden you can't go on a budget on one area and then pay your quarterback that. If you're going to go rice and beans and let's get out of debt, let's sacrifice to get out of that debt, then don't you just cut ties with Dak and say, yeah, we've led this horse as far as we can, and now it's time to cut it loose.
That's exactly what you do. I mean, you knew he's going to be the quarterback this year. And work a trade, or at least try. The thing about it is, and we've been talking about it for the last 8 years, Dak Prescott needs help. He is not one of those quarterbacks that is going to pull everybody up with their bootstraps and lead them the way. He needs help. And he's getting less help this year than he had last year. And I don't understand the philosophy. And Jerry and Steven and Mike McCarthy and Will McClay have to know all of that. They've been around this guy for 8 years. Well, Jerry and Steven have, and Will McClay. They know that he's not that type of player that's going to lead a team and pull them along with him. He's not that style of player. He needs help, and he's not going to get any this year.
The less is more philosophy, the idea that the Cowboys, now they tell you they're comfortable. They're comfortable with the roster. But I'll credit Jerry Jones carefully wording a statement when he said we feel good about the promise of this roster this season.
The promise.
There's promise there. Hope.
Wow.
Promise.
So when we're in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, we can probably count on the Cowboys not being there.
Well, I mean,
I think that's a reasonable assumption.
It's been a reasonable assumption every year. Now, there's been 3 or 4 teams over the last 15 that you thought had a legit chance of going to a Super Bowl, roster-wise, last year included. Although even last year, going into the season, probably 3rd or 4th best roster in the NFC. It's been a long time since they've gone in as, man, this team, Super Bowl or bust. They're really good. Things have to go right for them. Tony Romo had that team. Des caught it. That team probably would have won a Super Bowl. We'll never know because Dean Blandino's, But again, it's a safe assumption, Joe, that, they're probably not going to be in New Orleans.
That's pretty safe.
This year, they're going to go in with what kind of Super Bowl odds? I mean, we haven't even had the draft yet, but does anybody out there, not doodling on a scratch paper right now at least, think that they're going to get a difference maker in the draft? And when I say difference maker, a difference maker between Super Bowl or not, a trip to New Orleans in February or not? The answer is no. That they're not going to draft a player that puts them over the top that quickly.
I love how Jerry, I think at one point said, if we had a 4th round pick and there was a quarterback there, we'd probably draft him there. Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, isn't that exactly what you did?
Yeah.
You drafted Trey Lance with a 4th round pick.
In a lot of ways, and they'll sell it to us that way next week, that when they don't take a quarterback in this draft, that they already did that. They did that last, they drafted early with Trey Lance. And when you look at all the other quarterbacks from that same draft class that have been traded, all of them for a 6th, except for Trey Lance, who went for a 4th, which just underscores some of the stupidity from that front office.
It was dumb. However, Bo Nix will probably be there in the 2nd round. I'm just saying, Bo Nix, who is, I think, 23 or 24 years old, a lot of experience. He might be there, right there in the second round somewhere.
Might, maybe.
Yeah,
Who knows?
it's possible.
I mean, it is possible.
Although, I
Well,
can't wait to dissect everything that Jones has said today.
now, the reality, though, when I think about a quarterback in this year's draft, if Dak Prescott gets an extension, well, I'll say that. Dak probably doesn't get an extension before Thursday's draft, right?
No, probably not.
Now, Jerry, in his wisdom today, said just because they haven't had negotiations doesn't mean they're close to a deal. I'm not sure what that means, other than everybody kind of knows what the price is. Everybody kind of knows what the structure is going to be. Everybody, it's just a matter of let's cross the T's and dot the I's. And if that's all they need to do, get it done. He did bring up timing, and there's a timing element that probably makes sense for the Cowboys. Thursday, Friday, Saturday during the draft, and all of it you'll be able to listen to here on 94.1. If they take a quarterback high, then you could indicate, all right, well, Dak is done. If they don't take a quarterback, the Dak deal is getting closer. And to a degree, maybe that's more leverage that Dak is waiting for. Let's let the draft go by. And when they don't get my future replacement, I have even more leverage when we get into the negotiating table. Remember when he said the other day, I'm not necessarily trying to be the highest paid? Maybe that not necessarily is, well, right now when we're talking, I got to be friendly because they could draft my replacement on Thursday. Next Monday. If they don't do that, well, all bets are off because he'll have even more leverage.
Well, you got that wild card out there in Trey Lance. What are they going to do with him? I mean, honestly, what are they going to do with him? That's why it was such a poor trade. Just a poor trade. So I don't know what they're going to do with him. And so it almost makes no sense to draft a quarterback. Don't you have to see what you have in this kid? I mean, you've spent a 4th round draft pick on him.
In reality, and I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, with the exception of they've been around him a lot in meetings, in practices. They probably have a pretty good feel for him as a person. Have no idea what he could do on the field. Because of all the quarterbacks that have been traded, he's had the least amount of playing time, had the least amount of playing time coming into the NFL as a high draft pick like he was. There is less known about Trey Lance than any of those other guys that have been traded, whether you're talking about a Mac Jones or a Zach Wilson or, but they've had, when did he get traded? September, October? Somewhere along there? However many months ago that was. That's a long job interview just to see if you're comfortable giving him the keys to the car to see what he can do. So they've had more than a 30-day visit, more than just flying him out that you normally have when you're drafting a player like that. So they have an idea of what he can be at this point, I would hope. Now, whether that translates to on the field stuff is the next question. But when you ask, what are they going to do? Are they going to kick the tires? I mean, they've been kicking tires. Is he worthy of the opportunity? And I think we'll find that out based on what they do in this year's draft. If they take a quarterback in the 5th round or in the 6th round, somebody that could compete for that 3rd spot, we'll see.
Well, the problem is now he's got to get a new contract. He will no longer be on a rookie deal, right? This is the last year of that. They've either got to pick up his 5th-year option or let him go. So it's really a moot point. They need to let him go.
Well,
let him go.
My guess is with Trey Lance, they're certainly not going to pick up the 5th-year option and pay that kind of money.
No, they're not.
Right? He becomes a free agent, and you sign him to a typical backup quarterback kind of deal if he wants to stay in Dallas, or he's going to try to go somewhere else. But in reality, he won't be the expensive guy moving forward as he would be if you were to, say, pick up the 5th-year option or any of that kind of stuff.
Well, again, though, he won't be on a rookie deal. And if you're going to blow this thing up and start over and not have Dak Prescott as your quarterback, I think that's where you've got to start. That's where you've got to start. Sign CD Lamb, so you got a quality receiver, and rebuild that defense, put some pieces around him, and let's go. That's what needs to happen. And I'm still not convinced that Dak Prescott wants to be there. I'm not convinced of it. We say sign him. I'm not sure he wants to be there. And if they don't get him signed before the season begins, you have no choice but to wait till after. Dak typically does not negotiate during the year.
Well, and again, he's bet on himself. And what I think he says he wants to be there. But the other day he did say for the first time, or somewhere else.
Yep, he did.
Again, leverage. And Dak Prescott.
It's always fun.
Has it all. It is the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Fun night in the NBA playoffs. Last night, a couple of games coming down to the wire. And I know Laker haters were happy with the way that one ended as LA pooped the bed.
And LeBron cried. So did Joel Embiid after the Sixers blew a golden opportunity. We had some good basketball last night. Let's talk about it coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Smilestructure.com. That's a website I want you to go to if it's been a while since you've been to the dentist or you've been shopping for a new dentist. Go see Dr. Smith, my dentist, over at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. They can handle all your dentistry needs from oral surgery to general dentistry. And I know a lot of guys, you won't go to the dentist unless you're in pain. And if you're in pain, go see Dr. Smith and the good people there at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. But you don't have to wait till you're in pain. At Smile Structure, they can handle your cleaning and whitening, crowns, fillings, dental implants, wisdom teeth extraction. They can handle every aspect of your dentistry needs. They even offer general anesthesia, sedation, and cosmetic dentistry. Right now, get a free exam and x-rays when you mention the Blitz and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Medicaid and all PPO insurance is accepted, and they do offer a dental savings plan if you don't have dental insurance. Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces, better known and operated, and they offer discounts to uninsured veterans. 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book your appointment online, smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
With the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-460-3550. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-460-3550 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-785-9545. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-785-9545 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-785-9545 to see if you qualify. That's 800-785-9545.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV, which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The Jim Rome Show.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio.
Weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Hell of a night in the NBA last night.
It really was. It really was. That Philly game was something else.
Dude, the Sixers blew it. The Sixers flat blew it. Got
to get a rebound.
Yeah, well, that's it. But just, I don't know. I mean, when inbounds the ball. I mean, you know, I mean, get a rebound, but that inbounds play, and I'll go back to we talked about this during the NCAA women's tournament. A foul is a foul in the first half as it is in the second half, right?
Uh-huh.
There was no foul called there. I mean, it was I don't know. Sixers blew a golden opportunity. Knicks got away with one. However you want to couch it. Joel Embiid crying after the game, but the Defenjo 3-ball was certainly incredible last night.
Inbound to Maxey, nearly poked away. Still loose. I don't hear a whistle. Hart took it away to DiVincenzo for 3. Missed it. Hartenstein grabs the offensive rebound, and the Knicks another shot. DiVincenzo for 3 in the lead. 13 seconds to go. Back-to-back threes with a steal in between. And this place is going wild.
DiVincenzo with the guts of a skydiver, man. That guy, after he clanks the first one off the rim, gets it back and lets it fly again. That was a thing of beauty. I got to say that I love guys like that aren't afraid to take the shot again. And he nailed it. That was awesome.
Well, just all of it. I mean, it was so so good there. And obviously that was the call you heard here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star from ESPN Radio. And you look at the Sixers, what do you do? I mean, I didn't expect Embiid to play last night. I didn't think he would play a lot. If he did, he played great.
He did.
And they still couldn't get it done.
He guaranteed that they're going to win that series, though.
He did.
He did.
He's all kind of crying at the end, but
guaranteed it.
Guaranteed. And of course, Embiid had the chance at the end,
He
did. Came up short.
3-point lead. They got to go the length of the floor with a chance to tie. Here's Maxey into the front court with 2. Maxey got to shoot it. Gives it to Embiid. 3-pointer at the horn. No good. The Knicks win to go up 2 games to none against the Philadelphia 76ers.
Mark Kestisher with the call. He's fantastic. It's good stuff.
No doubt.
The other early game that was relegated to NBA TV, Cleveland.
And should have been.
No problem with Orlando. They win by 10 to take a 2-0 series lead. And I will tell on myself, I did not stay up to see the end of the Lakers-Nuggets game. I was up, but I was watching hockey. I was watching the Dallas Stars.
Didn't I tell you Dallas was going to lose last night?
You son of a, you had no idea who they were even playing.
I said Las Vegas wins that game.
What is it about Dallas teams in the first halves or periods in the postseason? You had the Stars, although the way that game started, there were so many goals in that first period. But the Mavericks, the Cowboys, none of them are playoff ready. Maybe there's just something in the water in Dallas. I mean, even the Rangers last year, they went great on the road. Made no sense. And for a while, I was going back and forth. But I when I say I'm telling on myself, Lakers had such a comfortable lead, and the hockey game was so intense, I never went back. And I wasn't paying attention to my phone. I missed the end. I missed the incredible comeback.
Defender falls. LeBron 3. Rebound by Porter. Denver with the timeout. Real time.
I love it. Don't call it. Tie ball game. Worst can happen. We go to overtime. Murray makes a move. There's on. The Nuggets have won.
Jamal Murray, man, that shot was incredible. They were down 20 points at one point in time and rallied back. And I think the Lakers just have that. There's those teams you just can't beat. Boy, they should have tanked that game, lost on purpose.
They really should have. I mean, because they're 0-6 now. 0-6 in the postseason against Denver. They've lost
10 in a row. Yeah,
10 overall, including the regular season. The video. So either you went to bed last night because the Lakers had a great lead, and you woke up this morning going, "I can't believe that." And I know I did. Alexandra on our YouTube comments, she says, "You missed it. I almost turned it off too." So she thought about it. So this morning I wake up and I'm watching the highlights going, "You've got to be kidding me." So the best part about that shot at the end by Murray, and you just heard the call from Kevin Harlan from TNT, Anthony Davis kind of got lost on the other side of the celebration. He almost got swallowed up in that. If you go back and watch that video, that's funny as hell. That Murray took that shot over Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Come on. Come and block this. I've got you. That still photo, and I'm sure there's a still photo of it somewhere. That's one of those iconic moments for Denver sports history, akin to Sean Elliott and the Memorial Day Miracle.
Yeah.
A shot over Anthony Davis at the buzzer to cap a comeback win like that.
And Sean's was over who? Rasheed Wallace, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was, that's it. Those were incredible shots. He didn't have any, I want to say he didn't have any pressure on him. Of course he did, taking that shot. But he knew if he missed it, we're going to overtime.
Sure.
And, the Lakers' old legs, they probably would have taken them in overtime anyway. But it was a great finish, 2 great games. And I'm glad the NBA is livening up just a little bit.
Well, after the weekend, we needed a couple of games like that. We really did.
No doubt.
Admittedly, the hockey yesterday was fantastic if you were going back and forth. Even though the Dallas Stars lost, that was a hell of a hockey game last night.
Yeah, I'd like to say I was doing that, but I wasn't.
I know you weren't. I'm just saying, at some point, I'm getting you one by one. If I get 1 in 100 of you, watching hockey, we'll grow this thing. I mean, don't ignore it if you're flipping through, because there really is nothing better than playoff hockey. You have the good fights, and the NBA tried. Joker's brother punching a dude in the stands. They're trying to be a little hockey-ish.
Dude, that's unbelievable. He popped that guy too, man. Bam. NBA's investigating that, by the way.
Of course they are. It's Joker's brothers.
I don't know what you need to investigate. I mean, it's clearly on video, and it's clearly a pop right in the nose.
Yeah, but what was said? Was it deserved? I mean, Aaron Boone got thrown out yesterday of a baseball game where he didn't say a word.
Nothing. He probably deserved it, though.
He probably did.
Probably did.
Yeah, no, you hear somebody saying all kinds of nothing. His name would be Jerry Jones, along with Stephen Jones, along with Mike McCarthy, who did get in 3 answers.
They didn't talk much.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jerry's there. Did you expect them to? Actually, I heard more from Stephen than I thought we might. What did the Cowboys brass have to say as they get ready for the NFL draft on Thursday? We'll dive into it next on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Have you gotten a phone call yet from some random roofing company offering to come out and check your roof out? You know what happens all the time after these spring thunderstorms that we had? And, well, we had a doozy this past weekend, that's for sure. And I know the phone's ringing off the hook. Don't fall for that nonsense, okay? Don't do it. Your roof is too important. You want to deal with somebody that you know has been here for a while and that's not going anywhere, that stands behind their work. That is Stevens Roofing, because really there is just one name in roofing that stands high above the rest. That is Stevens Roofing. Quality roof overhead by Stevens Roofing means comfort. It means confidence. It certainly means peace of mind. Protection for all those things that you love. Look, if you're in the market for repairs, a replacement roof, an upgrade, you'll want to work with that experienced team that brings local roots, value, and a vast knowledge of the craft to every job. That is Stevens Roofing. Look, if you think you got some damage from that last hailstorm, call Stevens Roofing. Let them come out and check your roof out. You know they're going to do it right. If there's something wrong, they'll fix it. If they're not, they'll say goodbye and have a nice day. The phone number to call, 210-785-0994. You can also get them online at stevensroofing.net.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, RJ Ochoa returns. Lots and lots of basketball to talk as the playoffs continue. And boy, the clock is ticking. The Cowboys are on the clock, and Jerry and Steven spoke. I cannot wait for RJ to get back. Get here early, stay late. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Calling all children ages 8 to 16. HEB and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing a youth football clinic to you on May 4th from 7 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. at East Central High School in San Antonio. You can do skills and drills just like the pros. Register for your chance to participate at dallascowboys.com/HEB. Camp is limited to 150 athletes per session, so sign up today. Purchase not required. To register, parents must be 18 years of age or older and a Texas resident. The promotion ends April 25th. For official rules and important details, visit dallascowboys.com/HEB.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com. Jason Minix here from the Blitz with the NBA playoffs here. You want to get in on the action and have fun watching the games the way I do? Make sure you download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing their pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. Select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you could win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. You create your own experience. It's a ton of fun to play. I love winning on the pick'em game, obviously. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So get signed up at UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app. Use my promo code STAR when you sign up, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This Thursday is the 25th. It's also draft day.
Yes, it is. Round number one.
Round number one. The Blitz will be live out at the Roo Pub at 281 and Redland Road from 2 to 6, getting you ready for the draft. Come watch it with us out at the Roo Pub.
Yeah, come on out. It's going to be a lot of fun. It always is. And I expect some drama, not necessarily from the Dallas Cowboys, but, you know, those first 10 picks, you never know how they're going to, who's going to move up. Does Arizona trade theirs? I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, the Houston Texans made it fun last year.
Well, they did. And the Arizona Cardinals, I saw a extended video on social media with their GM in the draft room working the phones. He calls everybody bud. Hey, bud, what about this? And, yeah, all right, so 81, all right, yeah, call it in. You know, kind of like the movie Draft Day.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, of course, we get the audio from the Cowboys in the video, and hello, yeah. Well, we'll talk about it. And then just even I tell anybody in the room. I you know, it's funny just seeing how all of it works.
I love the fact, though, that they put those out. It just kind of gives you a look behind the curtain, and I love that. And the Cowboys are going to have a lot to talk about. You know, I mean, obviously, they mentioned it today. If there's an opportunity to trade back, they'll do it. But it depends on how the board falls. So that's going to be interesting to watch.
It's it will be interesting. This draft, maybe more than others in the past for the Cowboys, and certainly the past 5, 6, 8 years, because they've done absolutely nothing this offseason and seem to be more reliant on hitting in the draft than they have before. And Mike McCarthy, in one of his rare answers today during the press conference that the Cowboys had today, their pre-draft press conference, talked about having to trust that draft evaluation process.
Well, I love the way this press conference is going. So don't feel obligated to have me talk. No, we have an excellent process, really. I mean, just the involvement of a coaching staff in the draft process And I've spoken on this before. It's the most I've ever been around. So, and I just think, the history of how the Cowboys, through Jerry, Stephen, and Will assess value to a player, and everybody has input. It serves us very well.
And it didn't last year.
Yeah, last year was bad. And they can't afford that this year. I mean, not at all. They've got to get every pick right. Well, maybe not everyone, but certainly the first three. You got to be able to count on those first three.
You do.
You do.
And Jerry talked about basically in today's NFL, because of the way the dollars work, rookies have to come in and contribute right away.
Today, you have to have rookies contribute, or you aren't getting the value that you need to have. These are your lesser paid as far as the other relative to veterans. The good ones are going to get paid to have other days of more pay. But that's got to meld in with the overall management, or it doesn't work, because you've got 10 players getting 70% of the money. So you've got to have youth, and you've got to have those players that fill in there. And how you fill it in is going to be the difference in the future, and frankly probably has been if you look at it across the league.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, he's right. The way the salary cap is, you've got to have some rookies contribute, and the Cowboys can't afford to miss this year. Mozzie Smith did not contribute. Schoonmaker did not contribute. So they missed on the first two picks last year, at least as we sit today. What happens with the first two picks on Thursday?
Friday. Thursday, Friday, going into the weekend. The idea that they missed last year. As we sit right now, last year's draft class gets a failing grade at best.
Absolutely.
Right? That doesn't mean in 3 years from now, you don't look back and say, well, those guys turned into something.
Sure.
When you see Overshown and what he's able to do on the field, maybe Mozzie develops into that guy. But last year, as we think about War Room Audio, Mike McCarthy said, our run defense is immediately better with him on the roster.
Yes,
they like him. Yeah, swing and miss, Mike McCarthy.
Well, that was Dan Quinn's fault, as we found out later.
Well, somebody's got to be the fall guy.
Of course.
And, maybe it was Dan Quinn's fault when they evaluated it. Who knows?
Well, Mike Zimmer will make everything all right.
Sure. That's the idea. But they can't miss.
Can't miss.
Whoever you draft in the first round needs to have immediate impact. Which, again, you look at the offensive line and the idea that you could get a 10-year starter in the first round of this draft class, even if you traded back. And, over the last couple of days, I see a lot of mock drafts that have the Cowboys trading back with San Francisco, with Kansas City, and still getting, that center from Oregon, still getting, a tackle from Oklahoma, still getting, a big fat guy. And that's what they need.
Deep draft for big fat guys.
It really is. It is a fat guy draft.
It is.
And I'll say it that way because none of us, and when I say none of us, I mean none of us, really fall in love with an offensive lineman coming out of the draft.
No, of course not.
No, we have no idea. I don't know how to evaluate an offensive lineman with the exception of, does he get a lot of holding calls? And do I see him helping up the quarterback a lot because he gave up a lot of sacks? Well, those guys we're not talking about in the first round. With the exception of Tyler Smith, when they dropped him out of Tulsa, he had a holding problem in college. And he has somehow fixed that in the NFL. But they look at, footwork. They're looking at all these different things that, quite frankly, 99% of us have no idea. So I'll just say a fat guy. Give me an offensive lineman. People want to talk about Mims from Georgia. Well, cool. How different is he from Guyton from Oklahoma?
Well, he played for Georgia.
Well, Oklahoma.
Just stay away from Michigan,
well,
will you?
But
please.
Man, they just won a national championship.
I don't care. Stay away from Michigan.
They just won a national championship. Because you have missed on your last two from that school.
3.
Does that mean that you don't go for a fourth? If the guy is there that you like, you can't hold it against him because he went to Michigan, can you?
I have to hold it. Yes. And if you're Jerry Jones, you stay far away from Michigan. I don't care where this guy grades on your board.
That can't
stay away from him.
That can't be. I mean, go back to your single days.
Uh-huh.
You go to a bar, you strike out maybe 3 times in a row. Do you quit going to that bar? Or do you keep going in there because, it's a stocked pond?
Well, I mean,
you're going to keep swinging.
First of all, I've never struck out 3 times. So there's that. I mean, I don't know what that feels like.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean,
I've known you too long. I know when you're lying.
I'm just like, I don't know what it is you speak of, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Well, the rest of us do. And you do too, you arrogant SOB. Oh, good Lord. They've got to be able to hit on the draft. We know that. Jerry, this next one might make you run your car into that cement wall.
Could be.
Because there's nobody out here listening. And if you do, please call in. I'd love to hear from you if you're serious. That thinks that this roster right now is better than the one that ended the season. Right?
Nobody.
It's not better. Not better at all. Not better by a long shot than the one that lost to Green Bay in the first round of the playoffs.
Not even close.
Yet Jerry Jones feels good about this roster as it sits today before the draft.
Candidly, without any way being defensive, we're very proud of our personnel, very proud of this roster. Very much think this roster, without knowing right now how much the rookies are going to contribute, we're very, very feel good about the promise of the team that we're going to have this year with this roster. And I do principally because of what Steven said. We will have young players step up, no names that become names, because names have left and are off the roster. And so those guys have got to step up. You cannot play and run a team in the NFL without counting on this dynamic going on. And so we do feel good about these guys coming in.
Well, look, and Jerry's going to sell that all day long. And maybe they do. Now, I mean, nobody ever heard of Zach Martin. Nobody heard of Travis Frederick.
Wow.
I mean, you heard of them, but right? I mean, it wasn't.
You didn't know they were going to be Hall of Famers.
Tyler Smith. I mean, when he was drafted, all of us looked at each other and went, "Why? Why that guy? He's turned out to be great." Terrence Steele. The jury's still out on that guy. He got paid, so happy for him. But you don't know is the thing, and it's a crapshoot, not just for the Cowboys, for everybody when it comes to the NFL draft. Well, so, this is the path that they've chosen, though, so they've got to get it right.
And it's got to be with the offensive line. And again, I don't know how to evaluate offensive linemen any more than most of you listening right now. Stephen Jones talked about how you evaluate those offensive linemen.
Well, I think the communication, too, is outstanding between our scouting staff and Mike and his staff, Will and his staff, in terms of really getting on the page as to what we want in a Dallas Cowboy offensive lineman. And, there's guys up there that some people have higher than others. Everybody's got an opinion and certainly a feel for what would fit with their group. And I just think we do a great job of going through, all these guys and really communicating back and forth. As Jerry and I sit there and, ask questions and get input as to, what would be the difference. So I think that's an important part of this. We want to draft a Dallas Cowboy offensive lineman that fits in the room with a Zach Martin, with a Tyler Smith, with a Terrence Steele. You want that guy that you pick to be a guy who's going to go in that room and be accretive to what we're trying to get accomplished there. And I think certainly, I think we've had great work put into this process. And as Jerry said, it's certainly fortuitous when you look up, and probably one of the deeper positions on this draft, I think unanimously, is the offensive line position.
And I think the Cowboys have done a good job with offensive linemen over the past several years. And I think that's why I can see why they feel pretty good about the guys that they have and the guys that are going to step in, because they have done a good job with it. So I can kind of see where they're going there. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can see their path and what they're doing. It's time for these guys to step up. We're cash strapped. So these guys are going to have to play and get it done.
And when you look at the Waleskos of the world that we've been hearing about, I mean, Steven was so high on Walesko last year, and then of course he got hurt again. And so while we look at the departures, and again, Brock Hoffman, could he be the starting center? He could be. When he played last year for Tyler Biotish, we were all a little petrified, but in reality, he played well.
There were no fumbled snaps that I saw.
No, and it's not like he was a turnstile giving up a bunch of sacks either. So now, was that a byproduct that he had Tyler Smith at guard and Zach Barton at guard that could cover his ass a little bit? Yeah, probably.
Hurt. Yeah,
I mean, probably. So, I mean, I think the biggest problem that I have, and I think a lot of Cowboy fans have right now, is last year's failure in the postseason and draft class not having immediate impact. There is a level of trust that is gone that the Cowboys do have those guys in place. They had earned a lot of trust, but it can go away in a hurry, right? Burn me once, and man, it's hard to burn me again. And I think right now, a lot of Cowboy fans are looking at last year's draft and saying, well, and you see all these departures, and you're not seeing a lot of guys coming in. And Stephen Jones talked about, the frustration. Is it really the frustration that's just carried over from the playoff loss, or because they haven't done a damn thing in free agency?
The elephant in the room is, was our playoff success. And we could win an off season like we did last year and get an A. Boy, you went and got Cooks, you went and got Gilmore, you signed some veteran players, and boy, you won the off season. But guess what? We didn't get it done in the playoffs. So until we do that, you could say, well, you signed 2 or 3 or made 2 or 3 trades or 2 or 3 free agents. Until we have the success in the playoffs, that's the biggest question that everybody, is going to ask is, how are you going to get over that hurdle? And we feel like we can do it with this roster. I know Mike feels strongly about our team and what we can get done with it. I don't want to speak for Mike, but, that's the elephant in the room. And, we just feel strongly that because we have had success in the drafts, I think it's pretty well documented. If you have success in the drafts, and you want to keep those players. And so our priorities have been historically, because we've had success in the draft, is to then pay your own. And I know during free agency, because free agency, that's the focus. Then everybody wants to see activity during free agency.
Everybody does. Yes, they do.
Is he right, though? I mean, I know it's easy to hear that and kind of make fun of him. But in reality, is Stephen Jones right that Cowboy fans are frustrated with what we saw in the playoffs, and they haven't had any playoff success? The fact that he'll address and call it the elephant in the room. You guys are hammering us right now because we didn't do anything in free agency, but we feel like we've drafted well and we're good in those areas, so we didn't have to go spend. But are you really mad at lack of activity? Or are you mad at the lack of playoff success? And I think he's right. I'm mad at the lack of playoff success more than I am free agency, but I also don't know that I trust you that these guys are ready to go.
Well, I think everybody's upset with the lack of playoff success last year because of the way everything fell to the Cowboys. And for them to just come out and lay an egg like that in the first round of the playoffs, that's what people are upset about. So you see that, and I think as a fan, you want to see, hey, some improvement, man. We were there. We had an opportunity. The guys came out and weren't ready to play for whatever reason, and let's build on this and let's go. And from a fan's perspective, I know they have a plan, but from a fan's perspective, they've taken a step back.
They have.
So that's what the frustration is. And Steven can say all he wants to about that, the elephant in the room and all of that. But it's the fans' perception that the Cowboys have done absolutely nothing and lost a bunch of players that are going to hurt them.
It's we'll have more from Jerry and Steven and Mike McCarthy coming up, but there is just so much frustration. And I think there's a little bit of everything, but it all comes back to the way last season ended is the bottom line.
Yep.
And I saw a comment on YouTube a minute ago that said, it's already scrolled up, but Cowboys might not be better, but are they worse?
Yes.
On paper, if they're not better, they're worse. But it remains to be seen because a lot of unproven players have to step up, and all of those guys are going to have to play well for us to really find that answer out. We won't know because, as the Cowboys said today, as Jerry said today, a lot of promise on this roster.
Well, judge a fat guy. Let's see how they protect Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Did I say that out loud?
Dude.
Wait a minute.
Dude, Joe, sometimes I just wish you'd put your finger in that socket over there. Good Lord.
Oh.
Speaking of, if you need a new electrical socket at your house, if you need some sort of torture chamber for your co-host, call my friends at Hill Electric. They're available for you 24/7. I need to put one of those over there for you. I know I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house through the years. They're a fantastic local family-owned company that has been serving San Antonio homes and businesses for over 3 decades. If you need any work at your house or your office, one of the great things with Hill Electric is, yeah, they can do it. They've got the right service at the right price. There's never a service charge and always free estimates, so it costs you nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. You need more outlets in the garage, they can do that for you. Outlets in the bathroom, USB ports, need a light moved, dimmer lights in the living room, spotlights outside, outdoor lights, whatever your project is, give Hill Electric a call, 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or hill-electric.com.
Riding 410 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. It's America's #1 sports fantasy act. 3 million players. Yes, I'm a member. You should be too. Download it now and remember the code Alamo, and you can get a deposit match of up to $100. Basketball is balling, baby. Football is coming. Baseball is swinging. It is time to go to Prize Picks because you put your fantasy knowledge into action. You know more. You know your less. You know who's better or not. You know what's going on. You're a fantasy player. Put that knowledge to work. I have, along with so many others. And right now, remember the code Alamo, and you can get a $100 deposit match right now. Go download Prize Picks. We love watching Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, LeBron James. They are playing go more or less. It's so easy to do, and now's the time to go. You know when it's more, you know when it's less, and when you pair them together, you can win big, big bucks, up to 100 times your money. More, less, Prize Picks, Alamo. Go there.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-460-3550. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-460-3550 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting and waiting for things to dry up and keeping your family away from the mess, it hits you. You could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays that stick around, Zevo goes from kill to clean in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
Affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day. Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
This Entertainment Insider is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Comedian Jerry Seinfeld is directing his first film called Unfrosted, a fictional tale about the origin of Pop-Tarts.
But I thought, what would be the least work? The least work is for me to just tell the actor how to say it instead of me telling the director and then the director telling the actor. It was so much fun.
See why over 28 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at progressive.com.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Cowboys held their pre-draft press conference today, and team owner Jerry Jones made it clear he wants to keep quarterback Dak Prescott, saying, quote, "We want Dak Prescott. That's that." Suns look to even up their series with the Timberwolves in Minnesota. Tonight's a game you can catch on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and ESPN 1250. It all begins at 6 o'clock. Milwaukee looking to take a 2-0 lead. They host the Pacers at 7:30.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagle.
For the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Great Tuesday. Although I'm ready for some sunshine. 95 degrees outside. I'm ready for all of that stuff.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I mean, you sound like you got the you know.
I don't know. It's that damn cold front that blew through here, I think. You know, the allergies all over the place. I feel great, by the way, in case anybody's wondering.
Do you feel great?
May not sound all that great, but I feel fantastic.
All right, Kermit. I tell you what we do have.
Kermit.
I'm glad you got
Isn't
that.
Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. There's a dude out there. He tweeted yesterday, Dylan, and for whatever reason, he always has something in his tweets for me to tell you something, as if he doesn't have the balls to tell you yourself, at Joe Reinagle 210. Well, today he tweets at Jason Minix. Then he proceeds to misspell my name. Miniox. The Cowboys have a B-grade O-line and a rookie at the 24th pick. Sounds good. Give Zimmer a chess piece to use, please. No Michigan dudes. Joe is right for once. Hashtag can't believe I said that.
Wow. Now, who's this guy?
Dylan, I don't know. Dinty?
Yeah, well, he actually tweeted me too. Yeah.
King at Knit?
Yeah, he tweeted me too, and nice compliments there.
Nice, because, generally he tweets at me, tell Joe he's an idiot, tell Joe he's this, tell Joe he's that, tell Joe as if I'm, I don't know. At Joe Reinagle 210.
Yeah, Dylan.
Joe's got thick skin.
Oh, yeah.
He can handle mean tweets.
I can. It's okay.
As can I. You can mean tweet me as well.
We couldn't be in this business if we couldn't. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah, that is very, very
It's
true.
the Instagram posts on my videos that people get nasty.
Do they get nasty?
Maybe not nasty.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it comes with the territory.
It does.
When you're in the opinion business, you give your opinion and people disagree with it. That's fine. That's what we do. It's like we're a couple of dudes sitting at the brew pub having beers, this is what we're going to be talking about
Absolutely.
and arguing over.
Yes.
That's what it is. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people sitting at the Rue Pub. You know, all of the Texans fans could sit around that one table, although that fan base is growing, and I'm getting excited about the Houston Texans. I really am. You know, for a long time, they were my chick on the side team. And then Bill O'Brien happened. And there was lots of distance there. And Pledge will back me up on this. He knows that I'm speaking the truth. But now they're the sexy side chick again.
Well, I guess I'm not going to do that and go that far, but I do like the uniform reveal today.
Well,
I really do. I think those are, well, the red ones and are they navy blue or black?
Who knows? Let's talk about it in the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
That loud scream you heard on the northeast side of San Antonio a couple of hours ago was also known as a pledgegasm, when Twitter dropped the new uniforms for the Houston Texans. As fully expected, James Pledger's all in love.
Of course he is. I bet he's ordered one of each. Jersey, one of each.
Maybe. I mean, the jerseys, the hats, the half zips, the polos, the shorts, the undies. I have to admit, when I first saw him, I was like, But the more I looked at him, it didn't take long to grow on you. The one helmet that I'm not sure about is the red helmet. I love the red paint job on it, but the horn part, to me, it looks, I don't know, a cross between the San Antonio Brahmas and the Minnesota Vikings.
Kind of, although I do like it because that little Texan bull-looking thing, it was time for that to go.
Well, it's still there on their traditional home uniforms.
I know, but it's at least it won't be on these others. I'm glad they kept the candy apple red uniforms, and the other ones are sharp. Now, Pledge, are they navy blue or black?
The dark ones are navy.
They're navy.
It is a deep blue.
So they didn't copy the Detroit Lions.
No.
Okay.
Not completely, but the H in the Oiler blue on the helmet. When I first saw it, I was like, But the more I look at it, the more I like it.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that I have with it, I saw Cal McNair wearing it on a half zip, and I thought it looked really good, although it will take a while before you be able to look at that logo and identify it to the Houston Texans. That could be anything with an H. It could be like a teenage girl and monogram that on her shirt. You know how they, I don't know, but I like how it looks on the helmet a lot. The Texans uniforms compared to, say, the Broncos, their reveal. I like what Houston has done here.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not a big fan of the H, though. I don't like it. It's kind of fancy. It does kind of remind me of a teenage girl on a
what's it called, a monogram
uniform or whatever.
The monogram, isn't that what it's called? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like Harriet.
It's Old English.
Exactly. So it's like,
Harriet.
some girl going to a Catholic school that has to wear a uniform with
couldn't it be just H for Hannah?
It could be Hannah.
Yeah. Harriet. Howdy. Isn't it Hannah McNair? Yeah.
Hannah McNair, yeah.
I think the H is for her. She probably had that on a sweater.
Could be.
And Cal found it and was like, hey, that looks pretty good. Let's put it on a helmet.
That's what glad you said it. Back in the 50s. Remember the girls, they used to dance with the poodle?
I don't remember the 50s, sir.
I watched Elvis movies.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But they had that little poodle on there
skirt?
and then the monogram. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
It's like the big L in Laverne and Shirley.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly right.
Only Joe gets that reference.
I do.
Yes.
You didn't like Laverne and Shirley?
I'm not old enough to have liked Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, stop it.
I swear.
I like Laverne and Shirley. Came on right after Happy Days.
Well, see, I remember Happy Days. I don't remember as much of the Laverne and Shirley reruns.
What was a spinoff?
Well, I know that, but it wasn't on every day. I don't think like Happy Days was on.
It was every Tuesday night, in fact.
Well, see, I don't remember Tuesday. I remember like 4:00 on TBS until baseball season rolled around.
I'm just saying.
The Houston Texans did well on their uniforms.
They did all right.
The red alts, the red alternative ones. While I'm not the biggest fan of the helmet design, I like the overall look of the red helmet.
I'm glad they kept
the red uniforms.
because those were my favorite original ones that they had, the red ones. So I'm glad they kept them. Makes me happy.
And on Twitter, the Texans have made that red helmet their new profile picture.
Well, I think it is kind of cool, actually. I like the horn look. That doesn't look anything like the Minnesota Vikings.
It kind of it's a cross between the Vikings and the San Antonio Brahmas. Although there's only so much you could do, right? I mean,
I like that one.
Do you like that one?
Yeah.
All right.
I do.
Took you all of 8 minutes to convince you.
No, I like the red. I'm
John
a big
Sobery
red fan.
says Joe is basically Squiggy.
Okay. Now, see,
I don't even know what that means.
You don't remember Lenny and Squiggy?
I remember the characters. I didn't remember Lenny, but I don't remember the character. I couldn't tell you anything about the character.
See, here's the problem, and this is not meant as an insult, Jason. It's really not. But Squiggy was a short guy.
Oh.
Okay, Lenny was a taller guy. So if
Okay.
we're gonna be those two guys, I got to be Lenny.
Just because I'm short?
Yes.
But what are the characters? Like, was he short with attitude like you?
Well, no, he was kind of. They're both kind of dingbats. You know what I mean?
Well, all right.
Yeah.
There you go. Brett says Jason is Lenny. I have no idea. You guys are aging out of our audience demographic.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Interesting. Tom Brady. It's going to be interesting to see what Tom actually does. And he's got a lot going on before he takes over for Greg Olson at Fox. Although, he's dropped hints about playing.
Does.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these other roast is coming up. But also, as a broadcaster in that position, he's going to be around a lot of teams, a lot of players.
Yeah.
Lots that he's doing interviews for. Yet Tom Brady, being Tom Brady as the retired guy, is saying all kinds of things that probably would piss off current teammates if he went back into a locker room. He says today's athletes, the young athletes, are just flat selfish dudes.
And I think the biggest problem with a lot of kids these days, it's all about them. It's all about them, their brand, their social media. And then when it's about me and then not about us, well, there's no way to succeed as a team if all you're doing is thinking about how selfish it is for you to get the attention.
Wait, is he wrong? He's absolutely not wrong. He's speaking the truth and dropping an F-bomb on top of it.
Yeah.
Kids these days.
Pat McAfee has changed the broadcast world.
He really has. I love that. It just makes him more of a goat than he already was.
Kids these days.
Why are you calling him a farm animal?
He's a goat.
A farm animal.
Look, I mean, he's not wrong. That's exactly the problem with some kids these days.
Kids these days.
Yeah.
Well, and with the NIL, it's not getting any better.
No.
NFL teams see negative effects of NIL and transfer portal on this year's draft.
They're staying in school.
Well, I mean, they're making good money in school. But when you think about NIL, the money that's out there, and that these young athletes are getting,
mm-hmm.
and the requirements to get that money, does create more individual brands at a much earlier age, and it's more about me than it is team. So I could see one of those negative impacts. I saw a video. Caleb Williams was doing an interview. He shows up to Oklahoma, and he's mad as hell at Lincoln Riley because he shows up to OU expecting to start day one, even though Spencer Rattler was there. Now, at the time, Spencer Rattler was projected to be a high first-round draft pick. And Caleb was like, dude, I was better than him. I didn't even get a chance to compete. I was mad. Kept going to Lincoln about what do I do? What can I do? And to just stay the course. And then, of course, both end up leaving Oklahoma, and Caleb Williams goes with Lincoln Riley to USC. But I think that just underscores it's one thing to say I'm going to come in and compete. And I appreciate a guy that is willing to go to a school with a guy in front of them that has the job. I want to compete for it. We're seeing that right now in Austin with a guy that seems to have a better understanding of the process and is more about the development. But how many guys wouldn't go into the situation in Austin at UT? All right, Quinn Ewers is there. He's the starter. Do I really have a chance to beat him out, or is it a fair competition as opposed to you're a incoming freshman? That guy's a projected first-round pick, and your arrogant ass thinks that you should start over him before you even get there?
I love that.
Well, I appreciate the confidence, but the bad attitude and I want to go somewhere else because I'm not going to start right away is, and the portal allows that.
It does.
That's one of the biggest impacts. I'll compete, but if I don't win the job, I'm leaving. What does that teach you in life?
It doesn't. And that's part of the problem. We talked about it with the NBA and the European kids and the American kids. There's a big difference now in attitude and how they approach things. And it's the same in the NFL and everywhere else.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. The Cowboys had their pre-draft press conference earlier today, and Jerry Jones continues to say they are all in. I can only wait till we get out to Oxnard for training camp or in the, when they start mini camps here in a couple of weeks. They're going to all have T-shirts that say all in. If you want an all-in T-shirt, you can make one yourself over at Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. You can get anything on a T-shirt screen printed over at Sam's. Maybe you want your logo on a nice T-shirt, a dress shirt, polo, fishing shirt, you name it. You need your logo on any kind of gear. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing over on San Pedro. You need that on caps. Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from all kinds of industries. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. An order too small, certainly no order too big, and all items do come with the warranty. Call Sammy's Embroidery and Printing, 210-824-3900, or better yet, go all in. Get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick. The Dallas Cowboys select.
This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
We don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most. If you've been injured, get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
but that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois. Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the Just Capital seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 for ongoing commitment to their workers, with initiatives like Sharing Success, which awarded 97% of their teammates additional compensation, nearly all in stock. This is the program's 7th consecutive year, awarding more than $4.8 billion in total. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-918-3538. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-918-3538. 800-918-3538. That's 800-918-3538.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minnick.
Howdy.
Howdy. I just saw a tweet. Game changer. The Federal Trade Commission has issued a final rule making it illegal for bosses to make workers sign non-competes in any scenario.
Wow.
This new rule voids nearly all existing non-competes. A game changer in the media world. I wonder how that works, though, in the NFL world.
Wow. Well, I mean,
you're under contract.
Right.
So, but you can't, basically a non-compete, like in the media business, depending on, how you negotiated yours, 6 months to a year, you can't work at another media company within the same market. I was trying to think how that would work in the NFL world, but contracts up and you're free to sign wherever.
Yeah, I don't think they sign a non-compete in the NFL.
But you have
my knowledge.
But you have a contract.
You have a contract.
But if you break your contract, like say when you were at Ken's, if you were going to go to KSAC, could you break your contract and go over there with no compete?
See, I don't think so.
I don't know how that would work. But if your contract ended, did you have to?
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon.
I wonder if you're Jim Rome.
You've got a non-compete, dude. You ended too. We don't know. You see what I'm saying? I'm just curious. Like I wonder how this would affect NFL contracts. Like if you're disgruntled, if you're CeeDee Lamb and you've got a year left and you don't know if Jerry is going to sign you or Jerry's going to give you the tag, could you just say, well, I want to walk now and be free to sign with anybody that I want to?
I would say no. And the reason I say that is because most non-competes don't kick in until the contract's over. Right? I mean, it wasn't the TV world anyway. So
in the radio world, even if you get fired, you still have a damn non-compete.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And you're like unemployed for 6 months or whatever. I just a couple of years ago had to deal with something like that.
Yeah.
When I left Kins to come to the Sports Star.
Yes. Yes,
so,
you did.
So I'm familiar with that. Well, I'm glad that, look, it's a game changer. And I get it. I understand it. But, I mean, come on. If somebody's contract's up and they want to go across the street, so be it.
I was in all seriousness, while I see that and I'm thinking of the media world, I'm wondering how that affects sports contracts. Because there are non-competes, but, any good lawyer can help you get out of your current contract to get to another one. And it's not just the media business. A lot of companies, doctors, I'm guessing various people have agreements where they're working and they can't go somewhere. Salespeople, you can't go to a competitor with the knowledge that you have.
Well, that's why they were invented anyway.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and again, I'll go back to what I know with Kins. They trained you, taught you the business and all of that, and then you're going to take all that knowledge over to KSAT, and that's why they did it. I'm happy to hear it. That's good.
Well, it is, but and again, I'm just trying to figure out I wonder how this applies to sports contracts, because the Cowboys do have a lot of contracts that they have to deal with. And of course, while it was their pre-draft press conference, addressing contracts that are on the table was certainly brought up a lot, including one for Dak Prescott. Now, we heard from Dak the other day saying that they haven't even really started negotiations yet. Jerry today said, well, I mean, that's sort of true.
First of all, respect how Dak handles his business, period, as much as any player I've ever been, any person that I've been associated with. So that's it. I think that we should realize that talks, quote, talks, don't necessarily is not a barometer of whether you're close to a deal at all. As a matter of fact, it might be one of the least barometers, because most agents get mad as hell if I talk to the player. So you don't even have talks if they had their way about it, if you see what I mean. And so my point is, it's a misnomer to think that talks or the total or the beginning of a time clock on talks has that much to do with signing a player. Those two aren't necessarily the same.
Having heard all of that, and I get it, I understand, and we're talking, but there hadn't many numbers thrown around, have there? I mean, if Dak and Jerry are talking, they're not, well, I need $60 million, Jerry, for 3 years, and Jerry says, well, no, I'll give you whatever for 5, and so I don't think they're doing that.
Jerry is probably right. Agents probably get mad if they're
Of
talking
course they
business
do.
with the player.
They don't want to be cut out.
Well, and they don't want the player to say something or to agree to something without them there.
Right.
I mean, it's talking to the cops without your lawyer present. I mean, we watch enough cop shows. You understand how that works.
Yes.
Now that said, Jerry was very clear that Dak Prescott is going to be the quarterback of the future of the Dallas Cowboys.
We want Dak Prescott. So that's that. And
that's that.
There's no question that Mike's focus, not that he didn't have focus, but how he improved last year. And I give Mike a lot of the credit for it. That improvement demonstrated to me there's more as far as ultimately winning what we're trying to do here. So your question nails it for me. We want Dak, and we think that there's room for growth.
It's interesting that he says that, and he credits Mike McCarthy for all that, but he is a lame duck head coach. He didn't credit him enough to, give him an extension.
Sure.
And as of now, Dak Prescott has no extension either. So sometimes Jerry, I think, just
and again, I think there is timing. there was development that you could see with Dak.
He played well
with
in the regular season.
With 1 year under Mike McCarthy. But also, they're going to pay Dak. They certainly know that. But to do that, they're going to have less of a roster around them.
Then you get into the $64,000 question.
Million.
And that is, with all of the risks that's involved and what have you, if you look around the league, the teams that have really made that big-time commitment, we have in light of where we have committed in the past. We have that to add to whatever we do with him. And so it's a double whammy. We've got a lot still from seasons past that we have to add to that. And so all of that presents a challenge. You wouldn't even have a response if we were in a different place relative to the cap. If you are a team that has a lot of cap room, and then you have a quarterback for a little while that is well underneath in his rookie contract, San Francisco last year, us with Dak early after we had Romo, and boy, we had a lot of credit card use there on Romo. Well, Dak came along, so we didn't have to have it, and so we were able to absorb that money and still keep talent around him. So Dak has enjoyed in his career that we're proud of some of the best supporting assets you could put around him. And to move forward, we're going to have to diminish that. That's a fact. That's the rules. And so that's our challenge, and to make it work out. Dak, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, I can't even blink on that one.
Well, that's a good thing. But Jerry, I know. I think Jason knows. I don't know if he'll admit it or not. Dak Prescott is not the kind of guy that can lead a team and bring the team with him. He needs help along the way, a lot of it, and he's just not that guy.
I don't know why you would say whether I admit it. I have said 1 billion times. We know where Dak can take you. We know what that ceiling is. He needs
see
help.
Those goo-goo eyes over there when you say Dak.
To get over that
sparkle.
Hump. He's not Patrick Mahomes that's going to make everybody around him better. Dak, playoff Prescott's not a good word. He's a great regular season quarterback, 0 playoff success. And Dak's going to be the guy going all in. Dak's going to be the guy and diminished around him. Yet Jerry still says we're going to be all in.
The question is, in my mind, about all of this, how do we feel about where we've been in this free agency? We feel great about what we've been in free agency. All in. All in. All in. We're all in with these young guys coming on.
There we go.
And we're all in with this draft. And we're all in with knowing that you have to go.
Mm-hmm. All in with the young guys.
I want to go to
all in with the draft.
I want to go to Sammy's and get that T-shirt. What do you mean, Jerry? All in? See, because the definition there is
a lot better than getting a shirt that says "all in with the young guys."
I didn't say that. You said that.
That's where I thought you were going.
I don't know. I don't know what to believe when Jerry speaks, to be honest with you. They're going to go with the young guys. At least we know they're playing. That's what they're going to do. They're hoping to get lucky in the draft, which every team hopes they get lucky in the draft. And then maybe you pick up some spare parts along the way before training camp. But all in with the young guys.
All in with the draft. All in.
You don't worry about those numbers.
All in, Jane Slater. All in. It's all there. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's going to be interesting, and I say that with the young guys that they're going to use, unproven, who knows how they'll play, because the NFC is going to be better this year. The NFC is a lot better this year than it was last year, and it's going to be interesting.
All I know is I keep hearing that, and Jerry trying to redefine what every fan thinks of when he hears all in, and it makes you want to punch a wall. And if you do punch a wall, you hurt your hand, you need to get over to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Skip the ER and get to that Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine, because they treat injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, RJ Ochoa returns. Lots and lots of basketball to talk as the playoffs continue. And boy, the clock is ticking. The Cowboys are on the clock, and Jerry and Steven spoke. I cannot wait for RJ to get back. Get here early, stay late. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time, I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. It's America's #1 sports fantasy act. 3 million players. Yes, I'm a member. You should be too. Download it now and remember the code Alamo, and you can get a deposit match of up to $100. Basketball is balling, baby. Football is coming. Baseball is swinging. It is time to go to Prize Picks because you put your fantasy knowledge into action. You know more. You know your less. You know who's better or not. You know what's going on. You're a fantasy player. Put that knowledge to work. I have, along with so many others. And right now, remember the code Alamo, and you can get a $100 deposit match right now. Go download Prize Picks. We love watching Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, LeBron James. They are playing go more or less. It's so easy to do, and now's the time to go. You know when it's more. You know when it's less. And when you pair them together, you can win big, big bucks, up to 100 times your money. More, less, Prize Picks, Alamo. Go there.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness. But money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing, unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters. Because fish never argue about who stole whose crop top, or get mad the other fish used up all the hot water. No, they just swim around, never embarrassed to be seen with you in public. So save money by bundling your boat or RV insurance with home or auto from Progressive. And buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Don't miss the best SpringFest deals right now at Lowe's. Get a free Select 56-volt battery when you buy Select Ego string trimmer, leaf blower, or mower kit. Plus, buy 2, get 1 free on select paint and exterior stain via Lowe's gift card rebate. Shop these can't-miss deals in-store and online today. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows savings. Offer valid through 4/24. Excludes paint and stain samples. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details while supplies last.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Hey, Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, RJ Ochoa returns. We'll look back at the playoffs last night. Did Dallas find a way out? Is Phoenix remaining in their living hell? And we'll look forward to a tremendous night of basketball. Can Boston take another game? The draft just a couple of hours away, and Jerry and Steven speak. We'll look at all they had to say and catch you up on everything. Now back to the Blitz. Jason, I believe a bowl of gumbo next to a pretty sand beach is just about as good as anybody can get. I wish I could do the same, although beef stew by a fire sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it does. Beef stew by a fire sounds fantastic. Not on a beach, though.
Oh, nobody had beef stew on the beach.
It looked like beef stew.
The fact that you would think that there was beef stew served at the beach tells
it's
me
Florida,
you need,
man.
You
Who
need,
knows?
you need to go to the beach a little bit more
It's
often.
Florida. Well, I go to the beach in Texas, and there's no beef stew around.
No, but there's some sort of gumbo somewhere.
Never had gumbo at the beach.
You know, it's weird. If you ordered food, you're at a beach restaurant.
Yeah.
You order food and they show it with a bowl of gumbo. Because they give that to everybody. Everybody gets gumbo, right? That's like their chips and salsa. What do? Do you say, well, why would you bring that to me? I'm at the beach. I don't want gumbo.
Well, of course you'd say that. What, are you foolish for doing that? I bet you drive every customer off as soon as they sit down. Was it good?
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Because I was all in on that gumbo.
Wasn't spicy?
No, it wasn't too bad. I was all in on the fried shrimp and fish platter that we were.
Now, see, there you go. That's beach-like.
But they brought gumbo, and all right, gumbo it is. But it was good. It was good.
All right,
it was really good. So, audience participation time: 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. What is all in? Dylan tweets in, can you explain the all in thing? How in the world are they all in? They've done nothing. If I get an all in t-shirt, it's going to have a question mark at the end of it. On our YouTube chat, and you can watch and subscribe on our YouTube channel, San Antonio Sports Star. I saw, let's see, Alexandra, I'm all in for the false hope Jarrah is selling.
Your definition of what is all in and mine might not be the same thing.
So what is all in?
What is all in to you? Because the jokes are certainly there. That we're hearing. I just Fred says I can imagine a good country song coming out of this. I was all in. Country song, they made that rap song with Dak Prescott. Here we go.
Yeah.
Some local artist out there needs to come up with something about being all in.
I was all in with you, honey.
Please don't.
But you weren't all in with me. My mama got hit by a train.
That's a tremendous punch in the gut.
Yeah. It's bad country. That's bad country. But somebody out there with talent needs to come up with a song about being all in.
Yes.
Right? There needs to be something. Because Jerry himself is now making fun of the all in, and all you gullible fans that heard what he said at the Senior Bowl and has run with it. I mean, he has reiterated all in on his bus in Indianapolis at the Combine. He came into all in. He was giving you people the middle finger today when he used all in.
The question is, in my mind, about all of this, how do we feel about where we've been in this free agency? We feel great about what we've been in free agency. All in. All in. All in. We're all in with these young guys coming up. And we're all in with this draft. And we're all in with knowing that you have to go.
Did you hear Jerry? It was like 3 times in a row. We're all in. We're all in. We're all in.
That's a bad country song. Here we go.
Oh, my goodness.
All in.
Fans wanted him to say that and mean it like most fans take it. They wanted Jerry to say, all right, the hell with it. We're all in this year. Salary cap be damned. We are all in for a Super Bowl. It's been 28 years, for goodness sake. We're going all in. That's what fans wanted. That's why they get excited.
Yeah. Yeah. We want to be all in.
Yes.
We just don't have the money to be all in. We can't push all our chips to the front of the table because we don't have any chips.
Yeah.
Jerry, a couple of different times, used a credit card analogy as if he owns a credit card company. Does he own a credit card company?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not really sure, because this is a guy that doesn't need a credit card. He can buy whatever the hell he wants, except for in the NFL world, he has to work within a salary cap and rules on how you can operate and the operating expenses when it comes to player salaries. So I find it interesting that he uses the credit card example and analogy when talking about paying like Dak and CD and Micah Parsons.
You do understand when you have been operating on the credit card. And there's no question we've been operating on the credit card. That's how we've had Dak Prescott plus this great supporting cast around him for the last 3 or 4 years. You can't keep that if, in fact, all of a sudden the system causes that to go up, then you've got to start depreciating down. So if you decide to have a key player and you pay him to that extent, then he's going to have less supporting cast around him. Look around. That's the way it works. That's the way it's been working in the NFL. The sin would be to wake up after a Green Bay and say, oh my goodness, what have we got here? Our fans may not have been attuned to this, and even you in this room to some degree might not have been attuned to it. Boy, we've been attuned to it. And so we have known that you were going to basically have to have less in order to have some of the players that we want to have at the prices they are. You got to have less supporting cast. There's no getting around it. Where does it come from? It comes from really the draft, young players. It comes from playing players. That puts a big load on this guy's shoulder out of over here. It comes from not the highest price free agents. That's where it comes from. And when you are in that spot, your sins catch up with you at that time. So the guys you hit on, the guys show up, and the guys you paid that didn't hit on, they show up. By the same token, sometimes some great things happen to you. You get a Micah Parsons. Well, Micah Parsons is going to take some cap to have Micah. And so does CD. All of that, I wouldn't trade getting to do this for any job in the world and getting to be here, sitting here explaining to you what we're doing. So this isn't the world's smallest violin sitting up here complaining or talking for our fans. I just want to try to be good enough to work through this and us have a winning season, which we got a chance to have.
Wow. Well, there was a lot there to unpack. So basically saying because we have to sign Dak and CD and Micah Parsons, we have to go with nothing but rookies after that.
You know, and again, that leads to the question that Jane Slater from the NFL Network asked. If you know all of this, why aren't those deals done yet, Jerry?
Jane Slater, NFL Network. Trust me, I get budgeting. I've been working on it over the years. But my job is to explain to fans, friends, and family who don't understand when you've got these 3 free agents, particularly Dak. We've seen in the past, I don't think us covering this team were surprised that a deal hasn't gotten done. And typically they don't get done until training camp. But why not work on those deals earlier so that you have the flexibility to go get those veterans that have led to success in the last 2 postseasons?
Your problem is that well, I'm answering your question, but you don't have many problems. I really, you're excellent. But the point is that you may be working on it and not moving anything but your eyebrows. Who in the world would think that we're not working on it? I work on it. It pops open at 2 a.m. sometimes. What your actually question is why don't you have something done and negotiated and put in the drawer? Well, we'd like to see some more leaves fall. We'd like to see some more action. It's called option. A lot of guys need to hand it off. First guy through the line. Another one will keep it another step, decide whether to pitch it or not. He'll decide whether to turn upfield with it. Then he's still got a pitch left. So it's called option quarterback. That's working the problem. I've spent my life being an option quarterback, and I can go right out to the damn sideline and still leave a pitch in me. So I can do that. And that's just a style that you have. And so you never know. You might give money to somebody that you shouldn't have given it to. You got 2 or 3 of those names around here for me. I've been reading about them all week. So I know they're out there. And I shouldn't have handed it off as quick. Should have gone on out and seen a few more. I see some more defense before I either pitched it or kept it. So to say that you're not working on it and going is not the right answer. What they differ with you is your style, because it's on your mind. It'd be madness not to know that the contracts are ahead. I want to see a few more cards played, candidly. If you got trouble with when the timing is around here, it's because I'm not ready to go.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay.
I mean, great question. Defensive answer.
Very defensive. Very defensive. They hear. And those Cowboy reporters, fans, radio talk shows in Dallas have been killing the Cowboys up there, just like we have been too, because they listen to us as well.
Well, absolutely they do. And again, and we hear from them.
Oh, yeah.
But again, Jane Slater asked the question, and Jerry answered it to a degree when it's there. But in the follow-up, Stephen and Jerry both kind of get into it a little bit, trying to get to an answer, non-answer, if you will.
And you don't worry about those numbers going up as a result of other teams paying some of these players at their positions.
I worry about you. If you're asking me, do I worry about things going up? Not worry, but I probably have as good a feel as anybody living on this earth what the cap is going to be 3 years from now and 4 years from now, 5 years from now. I really do. We've got exceptional insight into where the cap is going to be, more so than a lot of people.
Jane, I can assure you, if we felt like we could get a number that was a good number, because unfortunately these, as we all know, representatives talk to each other. You don't think the representatives of Jefferson and CD and Chase aren't talking, and you don't think they got their eye on something really big? Please. I mean, they're not ready to come in here. Same thing with Micah, and same thing with Dak. I mean, it's just it's a little cat and mouse. Total respect for him.
Why not get ahead of that then, if you know what some of those big numbers might be?
Well, you don't know what those big numbers might be. And as I said, if you really, your gut feel was, if Jerry's gut feel was that was a good number, then you would do it.
You're say get ahead of it as though you knew the answer. And one reason you're not doing it is you may not have the answer. You may really need to see if there's more cap room. You might need to see if you're going to get somebody else signed. Or you really right then might not even have the money under the cap, of course.
Yeah, of course, because he's got the money. But what I really take from that, and Jerry, with some of the committees that he is on and that Stephen is on, they do understand, because they're on the TV contract committees and all that kind of stuff, what those numbers are and how that's going to have an impact on the cap and where it's going to go. So I do believe Jerry
I do too.
Is right on there. Now, for him to have more knowledge than the other 32 owners. I mean, all right, keep blowing sunshine up here. You're right. I mean, but again, does he have an idea of what that is? But when he says he wants to see more cards played, more leaves to fall, he doesn't want to get burned on a big deal that resets markets when all these other teams are facing a similar situation. Because, it's kind of like what we're talking about with Trey Lance. He gave up a 4th, and all the other quarterbacks in that same draft class all went for a 6. He overpaid. Jerry doesn't want to overpay early. Jerry does not want to overpay early. If CeeDee Lamb gets a couple more dollars because Justin Jefferson signs that deal in Minnesota, fine, he'll live with that. But what if the projected number for Justin Jefferson isn't quite what those agents are thinking it might be, and he gets his deal done? Jerry doesn't want to be first right now in resetting those markets.
I can see where he's coming from. And look, I think Jerry Jones knows a lot more than a lot of those owners do.
And he knows more than us
Jerry
when it comes
Jones,
to the numbers.
Well, Jerry Jones is the de facto commissioner. I know Roger Goodell sits in that seat right now, but Jerry Jones wields a lot of power amongst all of those owners. And if you don't think so, your head's in the sand. He does. So, look, I wish he would have taken that same philosophy with the Trey Lance deal, because basically what you're doing, unless you trade back and get another pick in the 3rd or get one in the 4th, because you don't have one as we sit now. And then you don't even get a chance to see this guy. You don't even know if he can play.
Sure.
And he's just been sitting there, hopefully learning. He is still a young guy. But, I mean, so to me, you talk about a wasted draft pick before the draft ever begins. And that's Trey Lance.
Well, I mean, but the reality is if they take a quarterback in the 4th, we might not see that guy any more than, any other backup quarterback that has been around. But
weren't expecting to see Dak Prescott for a while either.
We weren't, but it worked out. But I mean, they've had other quarterbacks that they've taken that have moved on, the Mike Whites of the world and whatnot. But I think this comes back. He talked about contracts he wished he could have had back. Zeke comes to mind. And so now with Dak again and with CD up right now, does he want to be the guy that sets that market when it drops? And I'll go back to what I've been saying. Maybe that wide receiver market is about to really change. And, what are those NFL owners talking about, either at the meetings or in their group chats, WhatsApp, whatever it is that the owners use about receivers getting $30 million a year? What if that market is about to fall off a cliff and Jerry doesn't want to sign CeeDee Lamb, say, knowing that there's talk about that market about to crash?
Well, then go out and get a wide receiver. This draft is loaded with them. Go get one. I mean, if that's how you feel, then go get one. But be proactive in some respects. I mean, you can't just sit back and wait for everybody else to do what everybody else is going to do and then react to that.
Well, again, you come back to timing and deadlines. He does not have to get a CeeDee Lamb deal done anytime soon.
And he doesn't have to get a Dak Prescott deal done anytime soon.
And he's not. He doesn't seem to be in any hurry.
No.
Until some of these other deals get done, and let's truly see what happens with the market.
You got to have 2 to tango.
You do have to have 2 to tango.
Yeah.
And all the comps, they don't want to be the first house that sells in that neighborhood. They want to see what the true comps are going to be like, is kind of what I took from that exchange.
Sure. But at some point, you got to be aggressive, don't you? I mean, what you've been doing for the past 28 years ain't working.
Aggressive in what way?
Well, I mean,
I mean, again, right now, getting deals done that could end up being bad deals. Like, does he want Minix and Reinagle talking about what a bad deal they got from CeeDee Lamb after watching all these other deals get done? And you realize the market was about to crash?
So I'll use your terminology. Who's the highest paid wide receiver right now?
Was it Tyreek Hill? Right.
So, and what does he make?
About 30. And so if Jefferson,
so Justin Jefferson is going to make north of 30.
That's the projection right now.
Well,
he is. He doesn't have a deal. But what if he comes in at 28? So what do you do?
He's not signing that deal.
What do you do at CD? And again, because in Minnesota, are they having the same conversation on Sports Talk Radio? Why isn't this deal done yet? I mean, it's not like like CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott are the only two waiting for deals to get done.
So we got a standoff going
Yes.
here between CD and Justin Jefferson?
No, it's between the owners and the agents, and the owners are talking and the agents are talking, and deals aren't getting done. But also, it's April. It's right before the draft. There's no deadline to get a deal done. There's no urgency to get a deal done from anybody other than the fans.
Very true. Very true. But if you want to get it out there, get it out there. And if he says no, he says no. You keep negotiating. Now, you throw a number out there, maybe he bites.
But he's not biting on a low number at this point, and that's what Jerry is trying to get to. Speaking of numbers, boy, apparently a lot of you are upset at the Fiesta prices. Food and drink at Fiesta, those prices have gone up quite a bit too. They think they're top flight wide receivers. We'll talk about it coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Speaking of Fiesta, it is that time of year you plan on having a good time, not plan on going to jail. But, you know, a lot of people get arrested every day for all kinds of reasons, especially this time of year in San Antonio. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747. Or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. You don't want to be forced into a PR bond either. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, here in San Antonio, at Nyosa, remember the number, 210-225-2121, license number 149. That's the phone number for AA Best Bail Bonds, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
This is The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-337-4168. 800-337-4168.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Play ball! Missions fans, get ready to swing in action tonight at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
We all expect our home to protect everything we love. But here in Texas, we don't expect the ways water is breaking down our foundations and damaging our homes. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is shifting. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Foundation Support Specialists. Make sure your investment is protected. Get your free inspection at foundationsupportspecialists.com.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, with the draft coming up, this should be fun. Cowboys edge rusher Micah Parsons and Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud, they're going to be on Bleacher Report's live coverage of day one of the NFL draft, breaking down and reacting to picks. Big League Baseball, Astros, Rangers, Missions, all in action tonight. Astros open up a series in Chicago against the Cubs. Texas welcomes in the Mariners. And the Missions, they're at the Wolf against Wichita.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on a Tuesday afternoon.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Good Tuesday afternoon. I'm ready for a little sunshine, though. I feel like we're living in Seattle.
Yeah, what's with the weather?
I don't know.
It's fiesta weather. We shouldn't be having this.
Don't they have that rain rock down at Nyosa?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Good.
I don't think it's raining. It must be working.
Yeah, exactly. The hell do you do with the rain rock?
You hang it.
Okay.
And it stops the rain.
It stops the rain.
Sure.
I thought, if the rock was wet, it must be raining.
Well, there's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
you probably know. You don't have to touch the rock.
Yeah. Although you have no idea. I was talking to my mother last night. And apparently hellacious storms over the weekend, right?
Uh-huh.
And there were, right? My mom says 2 inches in a rain gauge. She
Wow.
thinks the rain gauge must have been wrong because there had to be at least 5.
Well,
what does that mean, Mom?
She knows how to gauge the rain.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently. The rain gauge is wrong.
Never had a rain gauge. You have a rain gauge?
No.
Never did.
I've never. At one point, I think I did. We were probably giving away at the radio station. They were logoed up with whatever. But no, I don't. Nor did I ever check it. I've got other things to do. If they tell me it rained and this was how much, or it rained a lot, I don't really care about how much rain. I got 1.5 inches. I got 1/2 inch. I got a lot, or I didn't get a whole lot. I can judge by that.
Well, you need to know that though, because your lawn requires 1 inch.
Yeah.
So if it hadn't rained 1 inch, you need some more rain on it. And
Okay.
according to my weather friends,
Yeah.
It could rain 10 inches and whoa, we're still in a drought.
Well, it's because it didn't rain 10 inches in the right spot.
Yeah,
I mean,
guess.
that's like you and I don't live far apart, but you might get a different amount of rain than I did. Now,
Could be.
I will say this though, with my watering system, if we get enough
careful.
rain, it will skip. It's tied into whatever, and if we
It's got
get
a little sensor on it, and it's like the rain rock.
Well-
it knows if it rained.
well, kind of. Although I don't have like one of those. It's the ratio system. It's tied into the weather service.
ratio
Yes,
system.
it's a ratio
Whoa,
system,
hey.
and it's tied into the National Weather Service
Uh-huh.
radar. And if it says we've got enough rain, or we're expected to get enough rain, it will skip my watering day.
Nice.
It works out pretty good.
Well, I guess. I hope it's right.
Well,
If
I
it doesn't
mean,
rain and you skip, then you're screwed.
well, it's make it up the next time, I guess. I don't know. I can also tell, man, we must have got a lot of rain because I need to mow a little bit sooner than I normally should at this point.
What, who needs to mow?
Well, Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I know you ain't mowing.
What is a private fiesta party? On our YouTube chat, Alexandra says she's on her way to a private fiesta party. Is that just means some friends are having a party and they're calling it fiesta because they want a reason to party?
I don't know.
I mean,
we'd have to ask Alexandra that question.
Or is it, I'm going to Nyosa with my friends and that's my fiesta party. Let's rock and roll. Let's go.
No, it sounds like it is a private party where you don't have to get out with all the other people.
Yeah.
So good for Alexandra.
I mean, I saw that Thomas J. Henry had a private fiesta party. We didn't get invited to that.
No,
one.
we didn't. And that's too bad because it was probably pretty swanky.
Well, it probably was. He had another big artist in town playing. I forget who, but yeah.
That dude, I've heard that he, pays bands to play his daughter's 16th birthday and stuff.
Yeah, big time.
Guy makes
Private
a lot
parties.
of money.
Private party. So if you're going to Nyosa tonight, or if you've been to some of the other fiesta events, and I know I went to Taste of the Northside on Thursday, where you never reach for your wallet once you're at Taste of the Northside.
Right.
And then I was out of town Saturday and Sunday down in Florida, so I didn't go to.
You reached for your wallet there, didn't you?
Yeah, of course. But it might have been cheaper than at Fiesta from what I've seen.
Yeah, right.
Had I been in town, I probably would have found my way to Oyster Bake. Probably would have done at Taste of New Orleans. Although, according to my essay, people on social media are livid with some of the prices at Fiesta. A photo posted on Facebook, according to my essay, had $10 for a Dos Equis and $20 for a 32-ounce margarita.
See, I don't have a problem with a $20 32-ounce margarita. I mean, you drink a 32-ounce margarita, I have a feeling you might be on the floor somewhere.
Well, I mean, and again, a $10 beer, it's one of those cups. Now, a 6-pack of 12-ounce cans of Dos Equis at H-E-B is $11. And you realize anytime you go to an event, and I hate this when people go to a stadium and oh my goodness, the prices, dude, you're going to an event. They're going to cost more. That just comes with the territory. You know that. But what were Fiesta beer prices a year ago? I don't think they doubled. Did they go up $1? Did they go up $2? Cost of everything seems to be going up. Fiesta is going to be no different, but maybe let's keep raising the prices. So maybe you have one or two fewer beers.
Well, Fred Villarreal on our YouTube page says $50 worth of tickets didn't go very far. So what is a beer? I mean, if you've got $50 worth of tickets, I don't know how many tickets that is.
Well,
so if a beer is $10, is that 5 tickets, 10 tickets?
Well, but I mean, it's tickets for your beer and then your food. Your chicken on a stick and all the other things that you're going to be getting.
Which is probably my favorite Fiesta food.
Chicken on a stick?
Yeah, with jalapeno.
Yeah, well, of course, it's got to have the jalapeno.
You eat that?
No, but I skip eating the jalapeno. But I like the flavor that it adds to the chicken.
That might be my favorite. And I saw on my essay that there's 8 restaurants right now selling chicken on a stick.
Yeah.
Popular item.
Well, it is a popular item this time of year. I saw Crazy Katsu, which is a great chicken place. They're doing chicken on a stick. And I can only imagine how good that's going to be because they've got the best chicken sandwiches in town.
Well, I wish Chick-fil-A would do that. Chicken on a stick.
Well, just take a stick.
Well, I'm just saying.
Brew Pub apparently had chicken on a stick this past weekend. They've got a great chicken sandwich. So I'd imagine, it's basically that on a stick.
With a jalapeno.
Call it Fiesta.
Sure.
And let's go. But again, I mean, $10 for a beer in an event.
I don't see it being that bad, honestly, because.
But I mean, I could say $10 for a beer because they're in those little cups that are what, 10, 12 ounces?
That's got to be for more than that.
Well,
that's probably a 16-ounce can.
See, if it's a 16-ounce can, I'm fine with $10.
Sure.
But if it's the normal Fiesta size cup,
nah,
then that it's a little high, especially for draft beer.
Does anybody know?
Well,
let us know, will you please?
Yeah, let us know. Tweet at Joe Reinagle 210 at Jason Menix if you work one of the beer booths. Comment on the YouTube, but also you're going to an event. It's going to be expensive. They're all raising money for a variety of charities.
And it's not like people are going to boycott the beer stand.
No.
It doesn't matter what it is. People always seem to come up with the cash for that.
And again, according to my essay, some Fiesta goers took to Reddit
Whoa.
to talk about this year's drink prices. One user compared Fiesta's pricing to Coachella. However, a photo they shared showed Heineken and Dos Equis at Coachella listed at $15. And we're at 10, but my guess at Coachella, it's probably a can.
I think it's a can.
Ben Brasino says oyster bake 16-ounce Bud was $8.
See that?
See, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
it's not a problem.
That's fine.
That's about right. So I bet it's a 16-ounce can. Most places. If it's just a little plastic cup, then yeah, I'd be calling Reddit too.
Chicken on a stick was $7 at Oyster Bake, and beer was $8, according to
There you go. You
the Jay
15
Gons.
bucks. You're gonna pay $15 anywhere for dinner and a beer,
And pretty much.
right?
And you get everything else going on at Oyster
Exactly.
Bake. Get into running to people you see once a year.
Stop whining.
If you owe somebody money, you'll run into them at Fiesta.
Absolutely.
You're your ex, you're running to them at Fiesta. That's, that's how it works.
Why don't go to Fiesta? The only Fiesta events I've been to, it's funny because it was a running joke back when the Spurs were good, because I couldn't go to Fiesta. I was working during that time. Spurs were in the playoffs, so I never really missed it.
At Alamo Heights night, according to Paul on YouTube, Dos Equis 12-ounce was $7.
All right.
So this My SA article, and whoever posted it's getting a gazillion shares, is I don't know.
It's not that big a deal. It's
Well,
Fiesta.
It's Fiesta, and again, if you're going to an event, it's going to be expensive. You got to prepare for that and budget for it.
Right.
Bottom line,
It's Fiesta. Relax. Go have a good time.
It's Fiesta.
Yes.
Kids are going to be out of school on Friday.
Oh, is that the Battle of Flowers?
Yeah.
Cool. Traffic will be good.
There was a parade last night. I didn't watch any of it.
What was that? What's that parade? Isn't that a
The
river
night
parade?
The night parade, yeah.
It's a river parade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch.
I didn't watch it.
There's good basketball on last night and good hockey. We'll talk about it coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios, big job, small job, residential, or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. And while it doesn't feel like it today, you do need to make sure your AC gets tuned up and ready for the hot summer months. Quartermoon has great maintenance programs that will make sure, easy for me to say, your unit is ready for the hot summer. But if you know it's time for a new air conditioner, right now for a limited time, all 14 SEER up to 3-ton AC systems are just $69.99 installed, their lowest prices of the year. So call Quartermoon at 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
For the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
the Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
We don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Guys, if you're over 40 feeling like you're falling off in your workouts, career, maybe even in the bedroom, it could be lower testosterone, but you're not alone. In fact, superstar Hall of Famer Frank Thomas has a secret for you about how to get back your drive with Nugenix Total T.
I did notice after 40, the energy level had dropped dramatically. You want to feel like you've always felt. You want to go home with energy. You want to go to work with energy. And that's what I tell guys. It helps all facets of your life. Nugenix Total T is the real deal. I haven't felt this great in 15 years. And by the way, she'll like it too.
Text TOUR to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text TOUR to 321-321. That's TOUR to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. Your coworker Kyle said bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive could save you money. Bad news. While saying this, Kyle was eating your clearly labeled lunch. Dumb news. Pizza near work costs $7 a slice, and it tastes like drywall covered in ketchup. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and enjoy more lunches far away from Kyle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
What's the room again?
1240, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously, why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
I love San Antonio, man. I love it.
On 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Every Thursday, we give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. You want to win that? It's simple. You've done some grilling. You posted those photos to social media. Upload those photos to the Grilling with the Blitz page at sasportstar.com. And on Thursdays, we judge meat, pick a winner, and that winner gets a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market.
I love giving away Tri-County's cash.
Yep.
It's fun.
It is.
It is.
It's fun giving away other people's money.
Yes,
that
is.
Yes, for sure. And maybe, I don't know, if you're doing a chicken on a stick at the house, Why not? If you're at one of those private fiesta parties, whatever that means. Hell, I don't care if you're running one of the grills down at Nyosa. Those photos.
Absolutely.
Doesn't have to
Why
be.
not?
Doesn't necessarily have to be yours to win. We judge.
Right.
But now, I will say this, though. As long as we've been doing this contest, we are picking on what we judge. Raw meat?
No.
Prep? No. We want a picture of the finished product.
Got to be finished.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I can go get a raw steak and set it on a plate and say, here, it's probably going to be good, but I don't know that.
Well, that's it.
And you might burn it. You might screw it up.
And which probably means I would say you probably need the $50 from Tri-County Meat Market, but at the same time, recipes help too.
Oh, no doubt.
But yeah, generally finished product gets it done.
No doubt.
A picture of intent does not get it done.
You got to follow through. You got to finish.
Yes.
Yeah.
And last night, the Philadelphia 76ers did not. Neither did the Los Angeles Lakers. 2 games that went down to the wire. 2 teams had a chance to even up series, and they blew it at the end. And I'll tell you what, let's start with the Knicks game, because Philly had that game.
They did.
They had it. It was theirs. They had a 5-point lead that went away in just a couple of seconds.
Inbound to Maxey, nearly poked away. Still loose. I don't hear a whistle. Hart took it away to DiVincenzo for 3. Missed it. Hartenstein grabs the offensive rebound, and the Knicks another shot. DiVincenzo for 3 in the lead. 13 seconds to go. Back-to-back threes with a steal in between. And this place is going wild.
All they needed was 1 rebound or 1 inbounds.
Yep.
That's all they needed, and they couldn't get either one of them. And DiVincenzo, I love that guy. He clanks one off the rim.
Give it back.
Gets it right back, and nothing but net.
Absolutely. Mark Kester with the call on ESPN Radio, a game that you listened to last night here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Despite all of that, and now being down 2-0, Joel Embiid says Philadelphia will win this series.
We're good. We're going to win this series. We're going to win this. We know what we got to fix. We did a better job today, so we're going to fix it. But we're the better team, and we're going to keep fighting.
Woo! I love that. We're the better team.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, what do they say about a playoff series? It doesn't begin until somebody wins on the road.
Yeah.
So Philly's just got to hold serve, and it's at game 5.
Well, and again, I mean, last night I thought the Lakers had that game won on the road. I will readily admit I didn't see the ending of this game. I was watching hockey. That Dallas Stars Vegas game was really good. Vegas did get the win. They won on home ice, on road ice. Dallas losing at home. Something about Dallas area teams in the playoffs not getting it done early. It's in the water up there. But so I didn't see the end. The Lakers had a big lead. So I was stunned that Denver won, and more stunned at the way they did it.
Defender falls. LeBron 3. Rebound by Porter. Denver with the timeout. We are tied.
I love it. Don't call it. Tie ball game. Worst can happen. We go to overtime. Murray makes a move. There's Allen. The Nuggets have won.
Jamal Murray with his own Memorial Day miracle, not on Memorial Day.
No, but it's one of those kind of moments, a shot over Anthony Davis.
Absolutely.
One of the better defender shot blocker types, right? Right over.
Yeah.
And that might have been the best part of the highlight when I saw it this morning, going, I can't believe the Lakers lost that game, while laughing my ass off.
Up
but
by
to
20.
see Anthony Davis kind of caught on the other side of the celebration. He looked lost. I thought he was going to join in. Like, why not? And then, of course, afterwards, LeBron complaining about the officiating.
I don't understand what's going on in the replay center, to be honest. I think I said it this year or last year or whatever. D'Lo clearly gets hit in the face on a drive. What the do we have a replay center if it's going to go? It doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense to me. It bothers me. Sorry I didn't answer your question, but that is like And then I just saw what happened with the Sixers Knicks game too. What are we doing?
What are you doing watching that game when you're playing yours?
Well, I mean,
it was afterwards.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's going to change. LeBron's going to get every call that imaginable. You're going to look at LeBron wrong in game 3, and there's going to be a whistle.
You know what I find interesting is in the NBA player survey done by The Athletic yesterday, the officials, according to the players, got a C grade. And that's kind of what you would expect, right? About average. Wouldn't you guys?
Sure.
I mean, you know, not everybody's going to be happy with the officiating. And, you know, it's not like they got an F and it's not like they got an A. They got a C. It's about average. When calls go your way, you don't seem to complain. When you blow a 20-point lead, it can't be the Lakers' fault. It can't be LeBron's fault. It's the referees.
Of course it is. But I guarantee you.
But we got a replay center.
Game 3, LeBron, the Lakers are going to get every call there is. Denver's not going to get one. You watch, because LeBron cried. He's the head of the NBA, and it's going to change.
They've lost 10 straight to the Nuggets. They've lost 6 straight in the postseason to Denver.
The officials have fixed that in game 3.
Well, yeah, but I mean, maybe, but in all sincerity, and again, I didn't watch. They had that big lead. Hockey was good. I was back and forth, and then I stayed on hockey thinking the Lakers were going to cruise to a win, and never went back. How did the Lakers blow that lead?
Well, the officials screwed them, obviously.
All right. How did they build that lead then?
They were playing better than Denver.
All right. So game 3 rolls around, take the officiating out of it. If you're the Lakers, do you feel after that game, one, did the ref screw you, but what did you do to blow that lead? Do the Lakers go back home feeling like they can play with that Denver team?
No, they shouldn't feel that. They probably will say all the right things. They can't play with that Denver team. I'm not sure anybody can.
I look at Philly, and I hear Embiid say, we're still going to win this series.
Yeah.
Philly could easily be up 2-0 in that series, but they're down 0-2.
Well, that's the difference in stars.
Yeah.
Embiid saying, you know what? We're the better team. We're going to go in and win. LeBron, it's the officials. I thought we had a replay center. Oh, we got screwed. That's a huge difference. Who would you rather have? Give me Embiid. All day.
All day.
All day.
Why do you hate LeBron?
I don't hate him.
I know.
I hate him crying.
And that's, I mean, he even says there, sorry I didn't answer your question, but
I have to cry and get it off my chest. Adam Silver, do something. He will. Every call there is.
Every call.
Lakers might have 50 free throws in game 3.
Don't say that.
He also knows there's a ticklish little pitch coming up.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jim Nance, for chiming in.
Street cred. Big fan of Jim Nance. Now a bigger fan.
Yeah, exactly.
It was kind of like him and then Brady dropping an F-bomb. You know, I mean, you don't expect it from those guys.
Kids these days.
That's it. Suns Timberwolves coming up 6:30. You can listen to that game here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, Minnesota with a 1-0 series lead. You also have the Bucks and Pacers tonight in the late game. Clippers and Mavericks.
Man, can the Mavericks play any better than they did? They played horrible.
Can they play any worse than they did? I mean,
it's hard to think they can.
You're looking for a place to go watch those games, get into the Rue Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. The Rue Pub is where the Blitz is going to be live on Thursday afternoon. We'll be on the air 2 to 6, rolling right into the NFL draft. Come hang out, watch the draft there at the Rue Pub on Thursday with us. The Cowboys had their pre-draft press conference earlier today. Jerry said a whole lot of different things today. We'll dive in and explain. We'll interpret Jerry Jones coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, RJ Ochoa returns. Lots and lots of basketball to talk as the playoffs continue. And boy, the clock is ticking. The Cowboys are on the clock, and Jerry and Steven spoke. I cannot wait for RJ to get back. Get here early, stay late. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
What's the room again?
1240 down at the end.
Ooh, what's that?
Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. They're at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness. But money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing, unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters. Because fish never argue about who stole whose crop top, or get mad the other fish used up all the hot water. No, they just swim around, never embarrassed to be seen with you in public. So save money by bundling your boat or RV insurance with home or auto from Progressive. And buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
Don't miss the best SpringFest deals right now at Lowe's. Get a free Select 56-volt battery when you buy Select Ego string trimmer, leaf blower, or mower kit. Plus, buy 2, get 1 free on select paint and exterior stain via Lowe's gift card rebate. Shop these can't-miss deals in-store and online today. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows savings. Offer valid through 4/24. Excludes paint and stain samples. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details while supplies last.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Play ball! Missions fans, get ready to swing in action tonight at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
He's Joe, I'm Jason. The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. On Twitter, at Joe Reinagle 210. You can tweet at me at Jason Minix. We are your home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, we are. Very happy about that, too.
Oh, we are. Absolutely. And our entire careers, and, you know, Jerry Jones has been the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. You know, the 16 years I've been hosting this show, you're 25 years at Channel 5 and almost 3 now that you've worked here.
Yep.
Press conferences like today, I could only imagine in your TV world where you have Jerry Jones and Steven and, you know, a couple of sentences from Mike McCarthy in an hour-and-a-half press conference where you're going, how in the hell do I take all this and figure out what's the 15, 18 seconds I can use on television? Well, this is when you go to Bill Taylor and say, I'm going to need 3 minutes just because of one Jerry answer.
Well, yeah, he's going to give me a middle finger salute. No, these are, I'd probably be running this stuff the rest of the week, or certainly up until the draft.
Sure.
Like tonight, and then I'd run some more tomorrow, and then
now
Thursday early before the draft.
When you think about where the Cowboys are right now, after a free agency period in which they added two guys.
Well, they signed a bunch of their own guys. They were free agents.
Okay.
Technically.
But free agency, we don't generally think about re-signing guys. Free agency is you brought in this guy to our team that makes us better. That's activity. So most people define free agent activity. Jerry did talk about understanding the fans being very frustrated with the Cowboys' inactivity this offseason.
I didn't just understand where we are with our cap at the Senior Bowl. That's something we live with and know, like I would understand everything financially around here. And so I think our structure and our involvement at every level that we are in our process of getting personnel is ideal for making good decisions. I know what it's like to make a mistake because I'm going to be living with it 10 years from now. I'm not just in here for a 5-year session at GM and then gone. So I know what it's like to have to live with how you're doing. That bears on it.
You know, I just want to make sure I understand.
Okay.
He said he didn't know the cap situation when he made the all-in comment at the Senior Bowl.
No, he knows it. He knew it.
Okay.
This is the game that we like to play. This is what Jerry said, and this is what we think he means. And I don't know this, but I would imagine that they've got some fancy clock type deal, or maybe it's written on the whiteboard with the salary cap. You know, like you walk into some places and see all the clocks and then tell you the different times in different cities across the globe, right?
Right. Sure.
I would imagine somewhere in the offices there, they've got the current cap number to the penny, the projected for the next couple of years, because they work within that cap all the time. There's got to be a number. They know exactly what that number is and where they are to it all the time. And so when they're projecting deals, they're projecting, like with Dak, up against the cap, not only this year, but 3-4 years from now, and knowing what the cap likely is going to jump to. So I can imagine, there's some guy up there who lives in a spreadsheet hell world with all these projected caps, right? And so I think he knows what the cap is, where it is, where he thinks it's going to go, and getting all these deals done. But that also tells me he is so aware of it, because he is in a very unique position as the owner and general manager. Because the owner, Jerry Jones, that I know, if he wasn't also the general manager, would have fired the dude that has done the piss poor job that Jerry has done.
Yes.
And most general managers have about a 5-year shelf life.
Yeah,
Which
yes.
so they can make a mistake, because they're going to be fired in a couple of years, and they know that. See the guy in Chicago, right? So Jerry can't operate knowing that he's going to fire the general manager. He knows if he makes a mistake, he's going to deal with it for years. Zeke comes to mind immediately when he said that, as I try to interpret what I think he meant by that.
Remember, though, Zeke forced the issue.
He did.
CD could do the same thing. He could do the same thing.
He could, but I don't know that Jerry would respond the same because of the Zeke mistake. And I think some of the delays that you're seeing with Zeke, with CD, and to a degree with Dak right now, kind of circles back to Zeke. That was a bad contract. At the time he was forced, he signed it. He thought he had a Super Bowl caliber team, and Zeke was going to be the difference, just like when Emmett missed 2 games and he signed and they went on and won the Super Bowl. That was, all right, man, I'm going to sign this deal, but if it gets us to the Super Bowl, it's going to be worth it. It didn't work out. The running back market completely changed after that. And that ended up being a really bad contract for the Dallas Cowboys.
It did. They got out of it, though, and they've got another one. He didn't learn anything. He signed the same one with Dak Prescott. Now he's screwed with Dak Prescott because Dak's got all the leverage there. No trade clause. You can't tag him. And he's, going to cost you a ton of money if you just let him go. And so he didn't learn anything from Zeke.
Well,
he signed the same one with Dak, and he's about to do the same thing again.
I mean, quarterback contracts are different. What
do you mean they're different?
Quarterback contracts are different. I can go find another running back. I can't. It's hard to find a quarterback that you think can lead you to a Super Bowl. And he reiterated today.
Well, they don't have one today.
Yeah, well, I mean, they think they do. They think. I mean, they're a lot closer with Dak than with Trey Lance or with Cooper Rush or whoever else.
I'm not sure.
Well, I mean,
Cooper Rush played well.
We all know Dak's playoff record. We all know that. But he was also second in MVP voting last year.
Whoop-de-doo.
Well,
you're going to remember that a year from now?
You have to get to the playoffs in order to have a chance to get embarrassed in the playoffs. I mean, think about that. I mean, you still have to get through the regular season journey to get there. And Dak has proven to be a great regular season quarterback. He has proven to be a awful playoff quarterback to this point. But he still, at this point, gives you the best chance to win. But I thought it was interesting that Jerry said today that, because, we plan on signing Dak. Dak is our guy. He said that multiple times. But if I sign Dak to that big contract, we're going to have less talent around him.
Then you get into the $64,000 question. And that is, with all of the risks that's involved and what have you, if you look around the league, the teams that have really made that big-time commitment, we have in light of where we have committed in the past. We have that to add to whatever we do with him. And so it's a double whammy. We've got a lot still from seasons past that we have to add to that. And so all of that presents a challenge. You wouldn't even have a response if we were in a different place relative to the cap. If you are a team that has a lot of cap room, and then you have a quarterback for a little while that is well underneath in his rookie contract, San Francisco last year, us with Dak early after we had Romo, and boy, we had a lot of credit card use there on Romo. Well, Dak came along, so we didn't have to have it. And so we were able to absorb that money and still keep talent around him. So Dak has enjoyed in his career that we're proud of some of the best supporting cast that you could put around him. And to move forward, we're going to have to diminish that. That's a fact. That's the rules. And so that's our challenge, and to make it work out. Dak, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, I don't even have I can't even blink on that one.
All that was right there was directed at Dak's agent.
Yep.
And Dak Prescott. Boom, right there. All of that was because, hey, Dak, we're going to give you your $60 million a year, pal, but you're going to have trash around you because that's all we can afford. That was laser focused, and I just snapped.
Negotiating through the media.
Laser focused to Dak and his representatives right there.
What he said and what we think he means. Because the other day, Dak talked puzzled by the inactivity. I don't know if I'd say puzzled. And then Dak said all the right things about the young players on the roster. Well, Jerry says the same thing today. Listen to Jerry talking about the current roster of the Dallas Cowboys before the draft.
Candidly, without any way being defensive, we're very proud of our personnel, very proud of this roster. Very much think this roster, without knowing right now how much the rookies are going to contribute, we're very, very feel good about the promise of the team that we're going to have this year with this roster. And I do principally because of what Steven said. We will have young players step up, no names that become names, because names have left and are off the roster. And so those guys have got to step up. You cannot play and run a team in the NFL without counting on this dynamic going on. And so we do feel good about these guys coming in.
How can you disagree with them? Look, you've drafted them. They're professional football players. It's their time to step up. I've got no issue with that at all. I really don't. Now, I think they should have been a little more active. And look, again, Dak going into the last year of his contract. If I'm Jerry Jones, as pissed off as he was after that Green Bay game, I'm saying you got Mike McCarthy on his last year, you got Dak Prescott. I'd screw the salary cap. I'm going all in this year. If we win it, great. If we don't, boom, blow it up.
You know, and that's a possibility, except for
they didn't do that.
Well, what do you mean they didn't do that?
Well, they didn't do it.
What do you mean they didn't do it?
They didn't do it. They were the least active team in the NFL during the free agency period. What I'm saying is, if you know Dak's on the final year, go all in.
Oh,
and I mean,
Jerry,
my definition of all in.
Okay, because Jerry is all in.
The question is, in my mind, about all of this, how do we feel about where we've been in this free agency? We feel great about what we've been in free agency. All in.
Here we go.
All in. We're all in with these young guys coming up. And we're all in with this draft. And we're all in with knowing that you have to go.
6 all-ins in 25 seconds for Jerry Jones. All in. And again, key words. He feels good about the promise of this young roster.
Okay.
That's fair.
Sure.
They feel like they've drafted and they've developed and that these guys are ready. There is promise there. There is hope. Although hope is a pretty piss-poor business plan as you're projecting. The idea that this roster that I think universally we all agree is not as good as the roster that lost to Green Bay.
No.
That won 12 games in the regular season last year. But there's promise.
There's hope.
We hope.
Well, that's what Cowboy fans have been living on for the past 28 years. Hope and promise. That should be on when you walk into the Star. Hope, promise.
Well, they're
promise, hope.
I mean, but that's every fan base that hasn't won. There's always hope. I mean, there's hope in your Tennessee Titans locker room. There's hope in the Houston Texans locker room.
I would say
there's
Tennessee's probably got a better roster right now than the Dallas Cowboys do.
I don't know. I think the Houston Texans do. I don't know about the Tennessee Titans.
You don't know. That's the problem.
Neither do you.
Sure I do.
We don't know how good this team is going to be. Now, the other thing that I find comical is, the draft is Thursday.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. The Cowboys historically have been pretty good drafters, especially the last 7, 8, 10 years, right?
Except for last year.
Well, I'll finish. They've been good. Last year's draft was not.
No.
Last year's draft at this point looks awful because none of those guys that they drafted made immediate impact.
Right.
Now, maybe Mozzie Smith develops. Overshone was hurt, so we don't know. Schoonmaker, he was all right, but he certainly wasn't the impact player you would want from a second-round pick. He couldn't beat out a Jake Ferguson for more reps.
Well, of course not.
He was an inch short in Philadelphia. Wow. There were some things there.
He's got more problems than we thought.
I mean, they're Schoonmaker with that long last name, you couldn't get into the end zone, right? I mean, I'm just saying so that the last year's draft class has eroded some trust with this Cowboys front office coming into this year's draft. Yet Jerry said today that they are counting on the rookies that they don't even have yet being major contributors to this year's football team.
Today, you have to have rookies contribute, or you aren't getting the value that you need to have. These are your lesser paid as far as the other relative to veterans. The good ones are going to get paid to have other days of more pay. But that's got to meld in with the overall management or it doesn't work, because you've got 10 players getting 70% of the money. So you've got to have youth and you've got to have those players that fill in there, and how you fill it in is going to be the difference in the future. And frankly, probably has been if you look at it across the league.
When you look at last year's draft, and in all seriousness, when they drafted Mozzie Smith, I think all of us looked at each other and said, that's a need. Yep. Mike McCarthy knew that. He said he'd be an impact player right away, makes our run defense better. The Schoonmaker pick, though, was a panic pick.
Yep.
It was a panic pick for the Cowboys. And I'm really surprised that they did that. And I know that Ferguson wasn't Ferguson yet, and they felt like they needed something. But that Schoonmaker pick at number 2 was just a panic pick, and it wound up biting them in the butt.
Well,
you could have gotten something else there.
You could
have paid dividends other than a tight end you didn't need.
You could have. I don't know if it bit them in the butt. I don't know I don't know. They chose Schoonmaker over who.
Well, I'd like to go back and look.
And that's the. We can look who was drafted right after him, but we don't know if the Cowboys were looking there. That's the one thing we have. I've never seen any draft audio from the second round of who they were discussing at that moment, because then that would piss us off. Kind of like you took Taco Charlton instead of TJ Watt. It's videos like that get out that really, really piss you off as a fan.
Well, but there's nothing you can do about that. And I get it. We can second guess all day long. But
that's our job.
In that particular instance, if you recall, there was a run on tight ends.
Yep.
And for some reason, the Cowboys thought they had to join that party. And they go with Schoonmaker, who, look, Michigan doesn't throw the football. They just don't. That's why I worry about this J.J. McCarthy. Michigan doesn't throw the football. And so Schoonmaker didn't catch a lot of balls at Michigan. And to me, that was a panic pick. And you haven't seen the Cowboys do that in a long time.
No. And the other thing is while you hear from Jerry, sounding like they got a ball on a budget this year because they got to pay some guys. Interesting back and forth between Jerry Jones and Jane Slater from the NFL Network. We'll dive into that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding I-10 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Mom, I got the job in Manhattan. Do you have a warm enough winter coat? What about your car?
I'm selling it with Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. How? I enter my license plate number, miles, condition, upload photos, and boom, an official cash offer from a local dealership.
A cash offer instantly. Oh, did you call Aunt Stella? She's right there in Massachusetts.
Mom, I literally just got the job.
Not everything is as simple as selling your car with Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. Price it, fix it, trade it, sell it, KBB.com it.
Dewar's mowing season is here with Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. Right now, you can get gas-like power with the Ryobi 40-volt push mower for just $329. With a runtime of nearly an hour, it's the perfect mower to tackle your half-acre lawn without a trip to the gas station. Just push and mow. Your grass won't wait, so buy it online and pick it up in-store to get out there sooner. Get gas-like power this spring with the Ryobi 40-volt push mower, just $329 during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Roo Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not a rate based on Terry, who keeps and makes the car behind them. Oh no, they're about to. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
We're here with Jose Rios, attorney at the Gomez Law Firm. If you are injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, Jose, what's the first thing our listeners should do?
The first thing they should do is pick up the phone, call the Gomez Law Firm, or Google joegomezlaw.com.
Gomez Law has been protecting people of our community for almost 50 years. They're the leader in personal injury law.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do carbon monoxide cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries.
But that's not all your firm does, Jose. Tell us a little more about other cases Gomez Law takes on and wins here in Texas.
Really anything that involves a personal injury and a third party that is responsible for causing that injury, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
NBA playoff action tonight. We've got 3 games. The Suns look to even up their series with the T-Wolves in Minnesota at 6:30. It's a game you can catch on both 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and San Antonio's ESPN 1250 beginning at 6. Milwaukee looking to take a 2-0 lead without Giannis. They're playing host to the Indiana Pacers at 7:30. Mavs try and even things up against the Clippers. Tip there at 9 o'clock.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on a Tuesday afternoon.
Well, we're getting closer to Thursday, man.
We are.
Thursday's actually going to be a better day this week than Wednesday. Wednesday's my favorite day of the week.
Well, Nioso opens tonight.
Sure, but
it's a little premature hump day there, Pledge.
He's used to that.
On a day that he's had a pledgegasm multiple times.
He has.
Every time. And James doesn't have a show this week, except for, I don't know, one day this week he gets like 12 minutes. The idea, well, because we got NBA basketball in a good game tonight. That Phoenix, Minnesota game coming up at 6 o'clock.
Defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
We can listen to that.
So, but Pledge and I have been working together and friends for damn near 20 years.
Yeah.
Maybe right at. When did you start interning? When were you in college?
2002.
All right. So 22 years.
Wow.
Since we're in 2024.
Yeah.
Because I know James well. And I could tell every time he opens his phone and sees the new Houston Texans look, because he literally just starts bouncing on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
And he makes noises that a grown man shouldn't make. And I know that he's looking at the new Texans uniform. He's having a pledgegasm.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what he's doing. You know, some of you get excited about other things that you look at on your phone. Pledge is looking at those new uniforms way too much today.
I got to give Pledge and Houston Texan fan a lot of credit. I think those uniforms are pretty slick.
They are.
I like them. I like the red one with the candy apple paint on the helmet and the new horn that goes up there that looks like the Vikings. And
it's a cross between the Vikings look, the Brahmas look, maybe a little Angelo State. I mean, there's just the way that
I think it looks sharp.
It does. I like those all red alternative uniforms.
I do too.
I didn't think I was going to.
Uh-huh.
So the H on the other helmet, when I first saw it, I was like, I kind of like that. And now I look at it and it's I like how it looks. Although the thing with uniforms is I want to look at the uniform and know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
And with these Texan alternate uniforms, you won't look at those and know exactly who you're looking at.
Well, especially the red ones.
Yes.
Because they don't have the bull logo on. I guess the dark blue ones don't either, but they'll have your little fancy Catholic schoolgirl monogram H on there.
Yeah. And so,
not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Well, it depends, right? Now, I think the H is for Hannah McNair. I think Cal was, happy wife, happy life kind of situation there. Hannah, what do you think? I put your initial right there on the.
Absolutely.
Yes. If you look closely, Hannah's written in there.
Hannah.
Nice. Yeah.
They look good, though.
Rudolph says the H is old English style, like a prison tat.
Rudolph would probably know.
Wow. Wow. That's at Joe Reinagel 210.
Rudolph and I have a love-hate relationship, man. It's all right.
Yeah, he loves to hate on you.
He does.
He does.
I owed him that one.
You give it, then you take it away. That's kind of how it works. Of the uniform, of the alternate uniform reveals, that we've seen to this point. I love what Detroit's done.
They're the best.
And I like what Houston's done.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what Denver did, and I'm not really sure the changes the New York Jets actually made. I think Denver was a total waste of time. Like somebody got paid money for that.
I'm sure they did.
Those were awful.
Detroit's the winner.
Yeah.
I mean, those uniforms are awesome. The solid black, I love those. I really do. And then the Texans come through with the red one. I'm glad they kept the red. That would be good.
But I like how they worked in a little bit of the Oiler blue in their uniforms.
Yeah.
You know,
the H,
the
monogrammed H.
They did what they could to be able to try to add that in there. That's you know, and I think for Texans fans and Pledge with no show today, your 8-second review of the uniforms.
You know, I like the two regular ones they're going to wear a lot. The red, I'm not a big fan of.
Really?
So the ones that Joe and I both like the most.
No, I love the H one. The H-Town one's awesome. I like the helmet of the red one. I just don't like that the reds on the jersey, pant, and helmet are two different shades of red. That always bothers me. Like the candy apple is a different shade than like the uniform they wear, and the reds.
Well, they probably can't make a candy apple shiny jersey.
I'm sure they can't.
Right?
But that's what I mean. It'd look better with like maybe like a blue jersey, red pant combo.
Nah, I like them.
See, I don't know. I was never the biggest fan of the color rush, all one color. So I didn't think I would like the red, but I think that all red, because of the offsetting colors, makes it work.
Well, it was a perfect day to roll that out today because it's Fiesta. You can probably go down, get a candy apple. You'll be a Houston Texan.
Do they sell candy apples at Nyosa?
Do they still do that?
Do you go bobbing for those?
No.
I mean,
they're on a stick.
Do they sell apples on a stick at Fiesta?
I would
that
think
almost
so.
seems too healthy for the fried food stuff that you're going to get down there.
Dude, not
Why
with
the hell would I go down there and get an apple?
Not with a candy shell on it.
It's still an apple.
Dude, have you ever had a candied apple?
Apparently it's been 40 years maybe.
I don't know if they do. I'd like to know. Do they still sell candy apples
at Fiesta, or it's just in general?
Well, I know they do at some places.
Where do you buy a candied apple?
It's been a while.
Oh, you said you know.
Well, I'm just saying I would assume.
Oh, now we're back to assuming.
I'd make an ass out of you and me.
Here we go.
I would assume they've got candy apples at Fiesta somewhere.
Yeah.
I would think so. I don't know what Pledge is looking up here.
I have no idea.
I thought he was looking up where I could get a candy apple at Fiesta.
You would think that he would have done that for us, but no, he's too busy pledge-gazzing over these new uniforms because he's pointing out the red star in the outlined blue. I don't know what you're trying to do, Pledge.
No, I do like that on the dark uniforms, the little
sleeve.
bull on the sleeve, and then the Houston thing. Is that a flower coming out of there, or is that a star?
It's a star.
It's a star.
It looks like a flower. Looks like a rose.
Well, it should be a yellow rose if they're going to do that.
No, it's a red rose.
I know it's a red rose, but it should be a yellow rose playing a tribute to the great Earl Campbell. You know, if they were creative down there, they would have figured that out, because the red rose is actually a star, and, you know, because they can't get away from the Cowboys at all. So they put a star in there, and yet they could have done the yellow rose as a tribute to the great Earl Campbell.
It was probably a trademark violation, because Earl Campbell didn't play for the Houston Texans. He played for the Houston Oilers.
Well, they're using the Houston Oilers blue on the H.
I'm just saying.
And the yellow rose would have been another middle finger to Adam Strunk lady that still holds a grudge and is jealous of all things Houston.
She's not jealous.
Oh, she's
just, it's like holding that thing. Nanny boo boo, look what I got this and you want it.
Did you forget the nanny boo boo, stick your head in doo doo? Is that what you were gonna say and didn't have the balls to?
I'm just saying, it's kind of like, we have the Oilers and you don't.
So bad.
By the way, that pullover, sharp color.
Oh, it is, right? Yeah.
What are you talking about, Pledge?
See, Fred Villarreal on our YouTube channel says you can get candy apples, can be had at South what's it say that the south intersection, there's a heart in front of me.
There's
At some intersections on the west side of San Antonio.
So you're going to buy
candy apples are good, although I don't know my teeth can handle it. Caramel apples are good.
You're going to buy candy apples from a guy selling them on the street corner.
Sure, that's the best kind. Well, you buy a hot dog in the middle of New York and the water's toilet water.
Well, no, it's not toilet water, and those are called gutter dogs, and that's a whole different thing.
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, at least they're cooking them right there, so whatever crap that might be on them gets cooked off. I mean, remember when we were leaving Los Angeles by the convention center during the Super Bowl? Every day they had those gutter dogs that were being cooked out there, and every
the
day,
bacon wrapped around.
Every day, Reinagel, who's the biggest hot dog eater you will ever find, is like, I've got to get one of those. I've got to get one of those. I've got to get one of those. But he would never reach for his wallet because it was a gutter dog.
Yeah.
And he's too high end to have a gutter dog.
I'm not high end for
but,
that.
Why didn't you have one?
Because I don't want if it didn't have the bacon around it, I would have.
You don't think you could have walked up and said, can you make one without bacon? Although, bacon wrapped hot dogs, that's pig on pig, fantastic stuff there.
Pig on pig crime, huh?
Well, it's not a crime. I mean, that's it. That's pig on pig glory right there. I mean,
I like,
that's double pig.
Yeah, but I don't want it wrapped around my hot dog.
It's bacon.
I know it's bacon.
All right, so you could have asked them, can I get one without bacon? And they would have made one for you.
I didn't see any without bacon.
Did you ask?
No, I didn't.
I mean, they would have done it, but most people want extra bacon.
I don't want bacon.
I mean, if bacon's an option, you always take the bacon option. Do you not?
Not necessarily.
I mean,
I don't like bacon on my burger.
Okay.
I'm not a bacon guy.
All right.
I like bacon with my eggs. All right. That's about it.
But you could have had bacon with your hot dog.
I could have.
But the sign said bacon wrapped hot dog is whatever it was. And then a regular hot dog was whatever it was. So clearly they sold them without bacon, but most people probably want the bacon option.
Well, you got a better memory than I do because I don't remember a sign that said bacon here and without bacon there.
Back when we were passing them and you were saying, no, it had nothing to do with I don't want bacon. Had more to do with I'm not getting a gutter dog from that dude.
They sure smell good, though. I will tell you that. Yeah.
They did. Oh, good Lord. NBA basketball tonight.
Yes.
It got some good playoff games, including one coming up at 6 o'clock here. In about 45 minutes, we'll get to the pregame show on 94.1 Phoenix and Minnesota. You want to add excitement to watching these games? Make sure you go download the Underdog Fantasy app or get signed up at UnderdogFantasy.com and play the Pick'em game where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build your Pick'em entry. All you have to do is select higher or lower on players' predicted stats. And if your picks hit, you can win. It's that easy. And looking at Underdog Fantasy's app right now, they've got Kevin Durant at higher or lower, 25.5 points. You know, that looks like something that I would jump on. 25.5 points for Kevin Durant. Absolutely. As you look at the different numbers and predictions, Devin Booker at 20.5 points, higher or lower. And that's what you do is you look at all the different options that they have, projections you could choose from to create your own experience. It's fantasy game. You're putting your fantasy knowledge to the test, and it is legal in Texas and a lot of fun at the end of the night when you see all of your selections turning green and then that cash gets deposited into your account. So get signed up. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up using my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. So if you deposit $100, you're playing with $200. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR, and they will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry. So get signed up using my promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick. The Dallas Cowboys select
This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
We don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney, an attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
He's a former coach with two sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right. That's real important. The golf game. Right. As we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics regenerative medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Looking for the ultimate hangout spot? Swing by 90 Proof Bar and Grill, where the kitchen stays fired up till midnight, serving up all your game day favorites with daily drink specials. 90 Proof Bar and Grill, corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch. Food, cold drinks, and live sports.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Tony Pollard, and you're listening to the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
My man, Tony Pollard.
Mm-hmm. The brightest of bright spots for your Tennessee Titans. Speaking of former Titans quarterback who spent last year with Atlanta, my buddy Logan Woodside today signed with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
Yeah. It's really good for Logan. He went to college at Toledo.
Yeah.
So kind of going home for him, but still collecting NFL paychecks.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Not at all.
No, from the time he was playing with the Commanders till now, he's done well for himself.
He has.
And his family. And
Yes, he has.
good people too. He's a good dude.
He is a good dude.
Yeah.
I don't know him as well as you do, but I've met him and talked to him.
Yep.
Good guy.
Happy for Logan.
Yeah.
Still working the NFL.
Backing up that Joey Burrow fella, huh?
Yeah. Well, and Joe gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, he does.
So,
he does.
You know, we'll see. And when Joe, yeah, that's good for him. Speaking of spring football, the 3-1 Commanders, the 3-1 Brahmas, led by Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips on the Blitz tomorrow, as he is every Wednesday. Wednesdays with Wade should be interesting. As Quentin, former Bernie product, comes in and
he played well.
Throws the ball downfield.
He played well.
Amazing how that works.
He played well. You see Wade dancing on the sidelines?
I saw video.
I had no idea he had moves like that.
I saw movement. I don't know that I would classify that as dancing. But at 76 years old,
Boy, yeah.
I'm
I
impressed.
thought he had some moves.
Don't break a hip, man. don't worry about that.
That's funny.
Well, I mean,
I'm glad he's having a good time.
He is.
They're 3-1. That game they pretty much had. I mean, it wasn't. They've had some close games that they've had to, bite some fingernails off. That one wasn't so much.
It'll be interesting with the draft this week coming up on Thursday, what the Cowboys do. And I just saw another mock draft, this one from Pro Football Talk, where they have the Cowboys at number 24 taking Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver out of LSU. And this is what concerns me about the draft. Cowboys need an offensive lineman.
They do.
They need a couple of offensive linemen. But if a guy like Brian Thomas is sitting there, or Xavier Worthy, or the shiny object, the fun toy, the weapons to help Dak Prescott, since Jerry said earlier today, we might have to go with diminished talent, but we need rookies that can come in and make immediate impact. Well, I mean,
what does that mean for CeeDee Lamb if they do that?
Well,
draft the wide receivers. They got the 2 Jalen's. You still got Brandon Cooks.
They got 3 Jalen's on the roster.
You still got Brandon Cooks on the roster.
But you do need a legit number 2.
And Brandon Cooks not your number 2?
No.
No?
No, he's a 3. He's
Brandon Cooks?
Yes. Although they did figure out how to use him late in the season.
He's a speedy dude.
He is, but I mean, like last year, as great as Brandon Cooks is, he was still the number 3 behind Michael Gallup.
Well, that was a mistake. Dude, if you can't beat out Michael Gallup.
I mean, I'm just saying, though.
Where did Gallup end up?
And the one thing that I do like about Brian Thomas is he's 6'3".
That's good.
So he's, and Brandon Cooks is not.
So Michael Gallup hasn't ended up anywhere. Nowhere.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say a milk carton is nowhere.
Well, no, you're right. He's somewhere. He's not on a football field.
Maybe he comes back cheap.
Well, I'm sure somebody will sign him. I mean, obviously.
He will. And there's players out there that are like a Michael Gallup that after the draft, and I do anticipate the Cowboys would do this, go out and sign some of those veteran guys that haven't found a home yet, that their egos have been checked to the point that while they thought they were worth X, their lack of employment says they're not. And now they're willing to play for what's being offered because, well, they need the paycheck and the insurance. But I still look at the need for offensive linemen for the Dallas Cowboys. And there was talk today about that quite a bit from Stephen Jones, especially about the the departures on the offensive line, the attrition. Now, granted, they've got some guys there that they've had for a while, like a Matt Walesko, that they're hoping can come in and fill some spots. But, you know, the development part of those guys is a big key going into this draft.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I think, you know, in general, you know, if you look at attrition, if you talk about probably where it hits us the hardest is, you know, the guys we lost, obviously, in the offensive line. We've had that happen before with Connor Williams and Connor McGovern. You know, these are guys that we picked, and then you plug them in, and they play, and then they get awarded a great contract. Unfortunately, you can't have more than one, you know, a couple offensive linemen that make a lot of money on your offensive line, and you certainly, you know, want those young guys coming. So whether it's the three guys we've picked the last three drafts, Ball and certainly Awesome Richards and Waletzko, TJ Bass, all those guys are, you know, it's time for them to step up. Obviously, TJ played a lot last year, and we really liked what we saw there. You move on to Dorrance Armstrong. You know, you have Sam Williams, who's certainly shown a lot and certainly been frustrated with his play time on – frustrated is probably not a fair word, but would like to play more. And we think a lot of him, and he needs to step up. And then, of course, the running back situation is one, you know, that we're continue to address. And obviously we will look at it in the draft, but also looking at, you know, Pollard in terms of replacing losing him. We've got to work through that. But those are all things that require young people to step up. And we've had a good track record. As I mentioned, Connor Williams, Connor McGovern stepping up. Obviously, Tolbert, it took him a year, but stepped up and played really well. And I think he'll take it to another level this year. Certainly Mike can speak to that.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's hope so. How long has Tolbert been on the going to his third year?
Yeah, this will be his third year, and his rookie year was awful. Second year was better, and maybe
third round pick, by the way.
And maybe this year the idea of they lost Gallup, maybe they think Jalen can be that guy, and the idea of a Brian Thomas is, you know, a joke. And again, that's from a mock draft today from Pro Football Talk. There is a lot of hope, especially in the offensive line. But you heard Steven talking about the attrition and replacing guys, and it comes back to the dollars. You can't have every offensive lineman making a lot of money. I think they were ready to move on from Tyler Biadasz. They know they're going to pay Tyler Smith. They've got Zach Martin making a lot of money, and Terrence Steele for that money is making a lot of money.
Yeah, he is
now at this point. And you think about Tyler Smith, and does he stay at guard? Does he stay at tackle? Mike McCarthy was asked where they project him, how much does that affect how they are going to draft?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is, you know, you got to take the best player, you know, the best value. That's why we have the draft process. You know, Tyler's flexibility gives us, you know, something unique to have. The fact that he's started at both positions at such a young age is pretty special. But you know, I look at these players, just say the offensive line room, you know, which player, regardless of the position, do they make the offensive line room better? And I have great confidence in our process that if we do select one high, that they'll make the offensive line room better, and then we'll figure it out. Because, you know, if we had to go play a game today, we'd be able to, you know.
If they have that much hope in their offensive line, and listen to me here, and with these two mock drafts that haven't taken a wide receiver in the first round, what if they go wide receiver, running back 1-2? Yeah, a kid out of Texas or the Trey Benson out of Florida State could still be there, and then you got two young rookie weapons to move forward with.
And again, you might be onto something. I think we all laugh at the idea of them taking a wide receiver when they have what we perceive as a glaring need on the offensive line. And I'll go back to when Xavier Worthy popped up on a mock draft, a week and a half ago from Peter Schrager.
Yep.
You know, my thought there was, well, that might mean they're not willing to pay CeeDee Lamb. I'm just going to go draft another one. But if there is that confidence with those offensive linemen, maybe our field of their need on the offensive line isn't the same inside that room. I mean, Richards played okay last year.
Awesome. Richards.
Hoffman played okay last year. They thought TJ played. The only one that I never want to see again is Josh Ball. But again, there's a chance that he develops.
Yeah,
but
well, sure.
You know, but if I never saw him again, I think I'd be okay. And that's where you want to trust. And they keep talking about hope and their development, although I maintain hope is a piss poor business strategy. How confident are they? And I know they use the term hope and Jerry used the term promise. There's a lot of promise on this roster.
Promise.
Now,
hope, promise.
Whoever they draft in the first round, if it's, the center from Oregon or the tackle from Oklahoma or the tackle from Georgia.
Or Xavier Worthy.
Well, I'm saying with this offensive lineman, there's still a lot of hope and promise that they're going to be able to be the NFL players that you think.
It's supposed to be a deep draft when it comes to fat guys.
Yeah.
Maybe they believe they can get quality offensive linemen in the third round, a quality offensive lineman in the third round. I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but it would not surprise me if Jerry and the Cowboys do that. You put some weapons around Dak, if that's what you're going to do. He's already said, look, we're going to be diminished with Dak's big contract. You got two rookies right there who have promise and can get the job done. It would certainly help that side of the ball.
Definitely. And who knows? Maybe with the new defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer gets the first pick. I mean, we keep talking about offensive linemen and wide receivers. What if they end up with a fancy linebacker all of a sudden?
Well, they lost with Dorrance Armstrong, right? So, that who knows?
We'll see. Now, the one thing that Jerry did say today, while it was a press conference supposed to be about the draft, contracts for guys like Dak and CD and Micah Parsons certainly took up a lot of air today. And a nice little exchange between Jane Slater from the NFL Network and Jerry and Steven about why those deals aren't done yet. We'll dive into that next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First, I got to tell you about Parkhurst New Vision. There is a new member of the Parkhurst New Vision family. His name is Jeff Traylor. Yes, Jeff Traylor, that Jeff Traylor, the head football coach of the University of Texas, San Antonio, or UTSA, for all of you that get upset when I say that. He had his eyes done, and he is now a happy Parkhurst New Vision patient. And it felt so good seeing his social media post. And I'm seeing those more and more and more. And it makes me happy because we're all a part of a community, all a part of folks that have new eyes. Our eyesight is so fantastic. No more readers, no more glasses, no more any of that stuff. And look, there's a lot of room on that bandwagon. You can get on there as well. All you have to do, take that first step and call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020. You can also check them out online at sanantoniolasik.com. When you give them a call and you set up your initial consultation, let them know that Joe Reinagle from the Blitz sent you. Then ask your questions. They'll explain to you what they're going to do. And I'm going to tell you, from the moment you walk through the front door, you're going to feel like family. That's just how they do it at Parkhurst New Vision. Do yourself a favor. Let them do for you what they've done for me and Coach Traylor. Give them a call, 210-585-2020.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, RJ Ochoa returns. Lots and lots of basketball to talk as the playoffs continue. And boy, the clock is ticking. The Cowboys are on the clock, and Jerry and Steven spoke. I cannot wait for RJ to get back. Get here early, stay late. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Okay, guys, we got to put our trays up for takeoff.
Where's Dad?
Oh, he's in the back. We could only get 3 seats together.
Daddy has my pillow.
We'll get it later. Can you not put your feet up, please?
Why aren't we going?
We must be in line for takeoff.
Like security?
Well, that was a different line.
I have to go.
We just sat down.
But I have to go.
The seatbelt sign's on.
Why aren't we moving?
Hey, no kicking.
We're just 15th in line for takeoff.
Son of a...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Sadly, statistics show that 1 out of every 3 women in the U.S. will encounter physical abuse from an intimate partner, and violence against children persist. Christie's Hope strives to overcome domestic violence by providing critical financial support to shelters that offer housing, healing, and preventative measures. Thomas J. Henry proudly collaborates with Christie's Hope in the shared mission to end domestic violence and empower victims. Join us in building a legacy of hope. Donate today at christieshope.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
90 Proof Bar and Grill is the ultimate spot to catch a game and satisfy your cravings. Kitchen's open till midnight every day, serving up delicious bites to fuel your hunger. Plus daily drink specials. Make every night a winning night at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Pledge is too busy pledge-gassing over the Texans uniform.
I give Pledges Day.
Bumper music.
Give Pledges Day.
Dude, we our last segment, we always start with a little Metallica.
We do.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. The Pledge, a little distracted apparently.
Yeah.
It happens.
It does.
It happens. He's Joe. I'm Jason, the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Interesting back and forth today during the press conference that the Cowboys had, their pre-draft press conference with Jane Slater from the NFL Network. And I thought Jane asked a really good question about the contracts for Dak and CD essentially not being done yet. Because Jerry had been saying, hey, Dak's our quarterback. He's our guy, you know. But there's no question he's gonna all that kind of stuff. So Jerry, why aren't those deals done yet?
Jane Slater, NFL Network. Trust me, I get budgeting. I've been working on it over the years. But my job is to explain to fans, friends, and family who don't understand when you've got these 3 free agents, particularly Dak. We've seen in the past. I don't think us covering this team are surprised that a deal hasn't gotten done. And typically they don't get done until training camp. But why not work on those deals earlier so that you have the flexibility to go get those veterans that have led to success in the last 2 postseasons?
Your problem is that well, I'm answering your question, but you don't have many problems. I really, you're excellent. But the point is that you may be working on it and not moving anything but your eyebrows. Who in the world would think that we're not working on it? I work on it. It pops open at 2 a.m. sometimes. What your actually question is why don't you have something done and negotiated and put in the drawer? Well, we'd like to see some more leaves fall. We'd like to see some more action. It's called option. A lot of guys need to hand it off. First guy through the line. Another one will keep it another step, decide whether to pitch it or not. He'll decide whether to turn upfield with it. Then he's still got a pitch left. So it's called option quarterback. That's working the problem. I've spent my life being an option quarterback, and I can go right out to the damn sideline and still leave a pitch in me. So I can do that. And that's just a style that you have. And so you never know. You might give money to somebody that you shouldn't have given it to.
Zeke?
You got 2 or 3 of those names around here for me. I've been reading about them all week. So I know they're out there. I shouldn't have handed it off as quick. Should have gone on out and seen a few more. I see some more defense before I either pitched it or kept it.
So I hear that from Jerry. And does that, the way I interpret that, Joe, is he got burned by the Zeke deal. To a degree, you could argue the Dak deal. But he's about to give Dak another deal. But with all these other contracts that are also about to get done, Jerry doesn't want to be first. Jerry doesn't want to sign, say, CeeDee Lamb to a deal that's paying him north of $30 million a year and watch the wide receiver market drop. Same with the quarterback. Let's see where the annual year ends up for these quarterbacks. I don't think Jerry wants to be the market setter. He wants to respond to what the others are doing. There's no urgency. He's option. Let this other guy hand it off first. See what happens. And then it's there.
I get that, but we know what we're dealing with, and we'll start with Dak, right? Joe Burrow's about $55 million a year, right? I roughly right in that neighborhood somewhere. So I think he's the highest paid guy at the moment. So that you know the neighborhood you're in. Now some of these other guys, Tua, I know he's next, but boy, I just have a hard time.
I know, but
yeah. So, I mean, so where do you go? It's only going to go up from there. It's not going to go down.
Well, unless the owners, like they did with the running backs, all kind of agree, we're not going to do that anymore. And they change the market. Jerry is a part of those conversations with other owners, whether they're phone calls, group chats, owners meetings. So maybe there's been enough talk around those owners, and I'm just guessing that, man, wide receiver market's getting too expensive, and there's a bunch of them. It's supply and demand. So if there's a lot of wide receivers, do you really have to pay a guy $30 million a year? I don't think Jerry wants to sign CeeDee Lamb to a deal like that. And then what if Minnesota gets, Justin Jefferson for 27, which I don't see happening, but at some point, like the running back market fell off after the Gurley and Zeke deals.
Yes.
Right? Well, what if that happens to the wide receiver market?
Well, it could happen to the wide receiver market.
But that could explain why Jerry's in no rush to get these deals done.
Could be. And to your point, the owners did that after the Deshaun Watson contract. Right? So it could happen. I think you're taking a big chance.
Well, you are taking a big chance when you look at the idea of waiting, but there's also no deadline. There's no urgency right now. And then Jane Slater tried to follow up, and even Steven jumped in trying to answer the question.
And you don't worry about those numbers going up as a result of other teams paying some of these players at their positions?
I worry about, if you're asking me, do I worry about things going up? Not worry, but I probably have as good a feel as anybody living on this earth what the cap is going to be 3 years from now and 4 years from now, 5 years from now. I really do. We've got exceptional insight into where the cap is going to be, more so than a lot of people.
Jane, I can assure you, if we felt like we could get a number that was a good number, because unfortunately these, as we all know, representatives talk to each other. You don't think the representatives of Jefferson and CD and Chase aren't talking, and you don't think they got their eye on something really big? Please. I mean, they're not ready to come in here. Same thing with Micah and same thing with Dak. I mean, it's just, it's a little cat and mouse. Total respect for him.
Why not get ahead of that then if you know what some of those big numbers might be?
Well, you don't know what those big numbers might be. And as I said, if you really, your gut feel was, if Jerry's gut feel was that was a good number, then you would do it.
You're say get ahead of it as though you knew the answer. And one reason you're not doing it is you may not have the answer. You may really need to see if there's more cap room. You might need to see if you're going to get somebody else signed. Or you really right then might not even have the money under the cap, of course.
Under the cap, of course. Very interesting press conference today that the Cowboys had pre-draft, but draft coming up, and obviously they've got to take care of a lot of those contracts. Good stuff from the Cowboys. Interesting stuff leading up to the draft. It is that time, as we do about this time every Tuesday, our injury update powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. They're online at tsaog.com. Let's welcome on the Buyers Barricades guest line, Dr. Lane Nauer. And Doc, we've talked about Kawhi Leonard and his injury history for a long time. He missed game one, although the Clippers didn't need him. Don't know about tonight's game two because he's still dealing with knee inflammation. Is this just another Kawhi situation? It's playoff time and he hurts?
Yeah, it could be. I think at least this time he's got some actual structural problems in the knee that he's actually had surgery on that is maybe actually leading to some real inflammation rather than maybe just the forbidden quad strain that never healed a few years ago.
Doc, sticking with basketball, Joel Embiid played really well last night, but he's got that knee problem that he's dealing with. How do you monitor that? If obviously it's not anything too serious, the guy's playing, but how do you monitor that to make sure it doesn't get worse? Can you do that?
Well, you're kind of with him. It's more of a day-to-day, seeing how he's doing from a pain standpoint. Some of the objective things we're looking for athletes is there swelling? Is he able to run? Is he able to jump and do his explosive moves? So some of that the training staff is looking at. And then there's something more worrisome, or if he's really struggling, then they'll hold him out. But it's really kind of a day-to-day. And can he make the moves? Can he make and really just stay on the court for long enough to be effective?
And I think my feelings about Kawhi are pretty well known. But when I look at Joel Embiid playing through what he's playing through, because it means something this time of year, versus Kawhi, who always, if he's not 100%, he's not going to go. If he's at 98, man, I just don't feel right. I can't play today. Like Joel Embiid could have played in the 80s, kind of thing. Do I just sound like the get off my lawn guy, or should we applaud Joel Embiid for playing through an injury, knowing if it were the regular season, he'd probably be load managed?
No, I think you have a good point. I think certain players are able to play through things that other players aren't. I'll say it as nicely as I can.
That is so politically correct,
nice,
Doc.
yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, we treat all kinds. We've got to take it case by case. But yes, I mean, it seems that yes, he is able to play through a lot that probably the average player, not just to select a few out, but the average player may not be able to play. So I think he's demonstrated that. Now, sometimes there is. I mean, there can be real structural damage, and not to defend Kawhi, but having had an ACL with a secondary surgery like meniscus, now that can lead to some issues down the road, which is really what it sounds like he's dealing with. Whereas, Embiid, he's no recent surgery, but definitely had issues that he's trying to work through.
Doc, that it's just I don't know. And you are the expert, obviously, but when I see a guy like Embiid, and then Kawhi, and with the issues that we've had, the history with this guy, it's baffling. And I guess it just a pain tolerance, perhaps, between one player and another.
Yeah, it really is. And it can be within one season. You can have, varying degrees of injuries with certain players that complicates it as well. Now, I think there's enough of a history with Kawhi, and especially locally, where I think there's reason to have maybe some question of whether he's got something that he could just play through versus not. again, with ACL surgery and all that goes with, and what could come down the road, including even early arthritis. The bad A word that we use, that, hopefully he's not dealing with something as significant as that, but it could be some real structural issues going on.
Well, and again, I think there's a difference when a doc says you can't play and when a player says I can't go. And in the playoffs, you get a player that says I can't go. I've got a problem. Doc says you can't go. And it sounded like they tried to talk to Embiid, like, are you sure you want to play?
Yeah.
And I'm playing. I'm not going to miss this game. Now you look over at the Bucks, like with Giannis, he's dealing with a calf injury. He's going to miss, couple, 3-4 weeks. And, the Bucks, you would think, would be able to advance to the second round and he'll be ready to go. But how do you get a calf strain healed up in 2 to 4 weeks?
So this initially, you diagnose it, you get past the initial diagnostics, and then now that they've done that, the MRI shows no major damage. Then it's rest. It's get him off the court, get him in the training room. They're icing, doing early therapy, trying to control inflammation, which is really swelling, and the calf hurts. It gets stiff, and so they're trying to get rid of that early swelling and pain, and then really let it rest enough and let that muscle heal up enough that he can go back out and be explosive, because the risk is sending him back out after 10 to 14 days and it's too early, and then he just flares it back up or strains it again, and then it's you hit the reset button. Now he's out a month. And so it's that fine line that the training staff is kind of trying to watch on every day, and they've got little tests and protocols they'll put him through, but in general, it's at least 2 weeks, and then kind of day to day to see how he's recovering after that.
Always appreciate the insight, Dr. Lane Nauer. Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Dr. Lane Nauer with the injury update powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. They are online at tsaog.com. Dr. Nauer and all our guests, of course, on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. I was going to ask him, what do you do with a coughing fit? But that's not normally an orthopedic type injury. I don't know if he would have had an answer to that, but good Lord, you never want that from your surgeon or a radio host.
Isn't that crazy? The last time I had something like that, we were about to interview Stephen Jones.
I remember that.
It's crazy.
You about died. Why is it when you hear Stephen, you get choked up and damn near die?
I don't know. I love the guy. You know how it is. I don't know what it is. There's allergies in the air, I guess. I feel great. And then I get this like somebody's poking me in the neck with something. So sorry.
Right in the throat, huh?
Yeah, right in the throat.
And you've been drinking the apple cider vinegar
I have
all
been.
afternoon.
Been working all day.
You're stinking up this studio.
That's an improvement walking into this studio.
Don't say that.
It is.
It's gotten better in the last 6-8 months.
It has. And it's clean, actually. They're making some improvements here. We got a new plug thing. What do you call that?
Multi-jack outlet.
Yeah.
A plug thing.
A strip.
Somebody's going to call for your man card. It's a power strip.
That's a nice one, too.
It is.
Yeah.
They make a lot of fancy power strips now.
Grumpy ass Greg Shelton has that block.
Yeah.
And that's nice.
It is.
You notice on the sides, it's got the USB where you can plug in your.
I didn't notice.
Schwanky.
That. We're getting all high tech in here.
I know it.
Got a couple of new monitors.
Who knows what's next?
All of Rob's bobbleheads have disappeared.
I can tell you this: we'll be rolling up our sleeves and going to work.
Yeah, there's all of that.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Nauer texted, said I would have had to good whiskey for that cough. That was funny.
I think it's a great idea.
You're riding with a Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM